messed up a little bit on that second lap. Probably lost me about 30 seconds or so, just on the slickest side of the hill. And Landon got by me there, and then kind of a game of cat and mouse trying to catch him. But with this heat, man, I thought I could do it that last lap. I think I made up about 20 seconds, about halfway through. Was right on pace for it, and then all of a sudden I just hit a wall. Couldn't push. Yeah, so close. Almost came true, but I'll take it. Second place on this brutally hot day. I'm happy I made it through with all in one piece, and the quad's good to go for the next round. So that's right. Thank you.
It's hot. I'm out of shape. Nah, but it was all right. It was fun. It seemed like it was going to be a lot more wet than that, but it wasn't bad. Afternoon's going to have a good race. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was nervous coming out here because I haven't rode or really done anything in relation to this, but yeah, I'm okay with it. Well, I did good. Thanks, Mason.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm exhausted, but it feels amazing. I do. This is one of my favorite tracks. My husband doesn't like it because he's like, I don't like it, too many kickers. And I'm like, I don't ever do great, but I love the track. So I'm like, all right, I got to get that out of my head. I'm going to do good. I like the track. It's hot. I feel like I got good endurance. I'm like, I think I'm one up on them. So I just push through it. I know. It feels good, but it makes me mad because I'm like, if I would have just got a decent start, I probably wouldn't be so tired.
Ready to roll. Home state. Not necessarily the closest one, but it's home state, so the only one in Ohio. So it's going to be two Ohio boys duking it out. I hope no F-150s get in the way for either of us, and hopefully, like I said, good battle and everyone's healthy.
Predictions. I'm sticking to my guns. I said Bryson would win the last one and Walker would win the next three. I'm going to stick with that. Now, here is the scoop, okay? I'm rolling in Friday morning. Not a bad drive, right? I see Vicky Fowler up on the hill. I said, Vicky, I haven't had chocolate chip cookies in 3 rounds of racing. Walker Fowler's not won in 3 rounds of racing. She said, I'll be right back. She runs. She gets me chocolate chip cookies. So Walker Fowler will win today because I got chocolate chip cookies. That's the key to success.
I better make sure he's right.
Woo, baby.
Hometown, you know, 1-year anniversary of getting taken out last year, and you know, season ender. Feels good to be back. We ain't scared. We're ready to get some redemption on this track.
Redemption.
On the track for sure. Let's get it, baby. Thank you.
Are you ready to go? GNCC Racing! Yeah! Second, and row number 1, the XC1 Pro will be off and rolling at the Whitestone John Pendon GNCC.
evidently Walker has ran into some sort of an issue, whether he be stuck, whether he be off the bike. All we know right now is that Bryson Neal is our leader, and we're not getting word one from any of our spotters that Walker is on his way in. White flag is out now for Bryson Neal. He was working through it. There comes Bryson Neal in now as he takes the checkers and the win, his 4th in a row here in the 2022 season.
Hey, buddy.
How you feel?
I really don't know, man. I really don't. I was telling Mikey Wayne in the post-race interview, you know, a year ago, this was my season ender, and today, you know, I didn't expect to get 4 in a row. That's a tall task, you know, especially against Walker. I didn't expect him to break down. I didn't want that to happen. I hate that. I'm gutted for him. Just happy to bring this thing in, make it to the finish line, get another win, you know, represent my family and friends who came out to see me, support me, and it just means a lot. You know, I got a lot of family here, local Wexford people, and I'm just happy to represent them and put on a good show for them. I tell you what, this whole week has just been typical. Like, I'm not really sentimental, you know, like, but this week I just kept on catching myself looking through my photos and just looking at, you know, me doing my box squats with barely being able to touch down my early weeks of my training, my rehab, and, you know, on crutches, and just looking through all that stuff. And I don't know, it's just reflecting. It's a year flies by, and I'm just happy to get with the right people to get me back here. Ben Greenwood, dude, I love you, off-road performance coach. I wouldn't be here without him. So many great people helped me out. You know, my mom, my girlfriend Brooke, my sister, you know, everyone at home helped me through, you know, the rehab process, the home team. So I'm just glad to represent them, get a win for the home team, and bring it home.
And make some noise for your top 3 in the overall! But you were right there. Hey, if you duck, if you hide, you don't get to get the swag. All right, that's not true, but bang, there it is, popping bottles on the GNCC podium. Get you some. There you go. Hunter Hart, grab your hat. Congratulations. More hats going out. Bang, there it is. That hat got ripped in half. There you go. You can keep your cold beer cold. If you're under 21, you're Kool-Aid. The wind catches that one. The Graham, Snapchat it or it didn't happen. Do it for the TikTok and make some noise for your top 3 of the XC2.
Good afternoon and welcome to round number 8 of the 2022 Grand National Cross Country Race Series presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship. We're here for round number 8, the Parts Unlimited Mason-Dixon here at the Matthews Family Farm in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Well, things have gotten a little crazy in the ATV side of things this season, no doubt about it. As we look at the points, Bryson Neal with a 36-point lead on Walker Fowler. Walker Fowler, after finishing outside of the top 20 in the overall, scores no points in round number 6. We talked about it all season. It seemed like the first guy to finish outside of the top 3 was going to be the guy that may lose the championship. Now, we're not crowning Bryson Neal a champion yet, but at this point, it is Bryson's to lose. So he's got some pressure he's never had before. Yes, he's had the points lead. Has he had the points lead like this? No. Walker Fowler, Also, with pressure on him, he's in a place he's not been in many, many years. So how are things going to play out here? Just 2 rounds left before that summer break, and you know you want the momentum heading into summer break. Obviously, Bryson Neal, the advantage. How is it going to shake down today? And finally, we saw Hunter Hart returning to form in round number 7. Can he get back on the box today here in round number 8? And of course, we take a look at the XC2 in the ATV side of things. Who is going to be the man to step up and challenge Jay Shadron? Wyatt Wilkins sits second in points. He's got a podium finish in every single round of the season, but that win has eluded him. Steve Harrell, third in points. Brandon Owens, Dylan Walraven, Grayson Eller. It is a deep class, but no one has been able to stop the tear that Jay Shadron's on. Well, can't wait to see how it plays out today. We're going to throw it down to Jared Bolton with a track description. Well, thanks a lot, Jared. Looks like we've got a great racetrack for our riders here today. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be down on the starting line with Rodney Tomlin and those iconic 10-second calls.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by Specialized. Specialized Turbo E-Bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
At our dog show tonight, Hey, Snowshoe, want to talk to you a bit about Snowshoe. We do allow camping at Snowshoe, although it is very limited and it is very challenging. So come early. There is a fee for camping. The mountain will be charging a $50 fee for camping. You will pay that when you come through the gate at the bottom of the mountain at Snowshoe. Our entertainment lineup has been announced. Kayla Robertson, who had the golden ticket this year on American Idol, will be with us, along with the West Virginia University Marching Band again, among others. So we look forward to seeing you. I think it's fitting. Or early this prayers as she deals with a we'll be celebrating 50 years of pro motocross here at High Point Raceway. If any of you would like to come and be a part of the MX Sports team, we are looking for team members for that event. We have a number of different capacities that we need people in, and we have a number of different compensation packages that include camping and ticketing and so forth. So if you have an interest in that, see Jessica at registration. Also, somebody this morning lost a key fob. They asked me about it. It's been turned in. I have it with me if you're missing your key fob. And so with that, let's go to Ricky Towery and get in an attitude of prayer before we go racing this afternoon. Ricky?
All right, thank you, Tim. Hey, let's do go to the Lord and let's have a word of prayer together this afternoon. Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for bringing us all together safely. You blessed us with such a beautiful day and such a beautiful place. Lord, we just ask you will watch over these riders this afternoon. Lord, keep them safe. Let them go out there and have a good time together. Do continue to watch over our military men and women. They're in all parts of the world watching over this country so we can be free to come out here and do what we enjoy. Be with our leaders each and every day at the high level and the local level. But tell them make the right decisions for our country each and every day. Be with our local policemen, firemen, and paramedics, and all the communities throughout the United States each and every day. Lord, we do have a special prayer request. We ask you to be with Kayla and Jared and their family in the days to come with the losing of our father. Just let they may find some comfort through you each and every day. Lord, we just thank you for being in control of all things each and every day. We ask that you'll take us all home safely when it's over with, so we can get back together again one day to have some more fun. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would rise, stand at attention, remove those caps, and cross those hearts as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, there you have it, folks. Our stage nearly set now as we turn our attention now to turn number 1 here on this Mason-Dixon GNCC start line. And why do we do that, my friends? Well, it's time to meet our starting lineup. The XC1 Pro ATV riders all stacked and packed in that second turn, awaiting their opportunity to come out and pick their start positions in accordance to point positions through the first 7 rounds of GNCC racing. And rolling to the line first today, riding aboard the number 241 from Bidwell, Ohio on the CST Hauser Racing Weisco-backed Yamaha, the Bidwell Bullet, Bryson Neal. Second in points, riding aboard the number 1 from Rogers, Ohio, a 7-time GNCC champion on the factory Yamaha, brought to you by GBC Tires and Fly Racing, Walker Fowler. He is third in points. He rides aboard the number 12, the youngster from Waxhaw, North Carolina, on a Pierce Performance Action Off-Road GBC Tires Yamaha, John Galana Jr. He is fourth in points, riding aboard the number 2 from Newfield, New York, on the Maxxis Ithaca Recreation Sports WPS Fly Racing Yamaha, Hunter Hart. Rolling to the line today, fifth in points, riding aboard the number 3 from Casca, Pennsylvania, on the Maxxis Elka Moose Racing Honda. He's the sneaky snake, Jared McClure. Riding aboard the number 7, coming to this round, 6th in points out of Windsor, New York, on a Fly Racing GBC Tires Yamaha, Devin Feehan. He is 7th in points, riding aboard number 733 from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, on the Action Off-Road GBC Moto Wasback Yamaha, the Coal Train, Cole Richardson. Riding aboard the number 6, 8th in points today from Akron, Ohio, to B&R Motorsports, GBC Motorsports, Hauser Racing Yamaha, GM6, Jared Joshua Merritt. It is 5:21. He is currently 9th in points, but first in so many hearts. From Waverly, West Virginia, on the Over Tires Moose Racing Parts Unlimited Honda, the Gator, Adam McGill. 10th in points, riding aboard the number 9 from Sunbury, Pennsylvania, amassing 75 GNCC championships on a Maxxis Fly Racing Yield Cycle Barn Pack Yamaha, Chris Torres. Riding aboard the number 714, the rookie from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on a Bulletproof Doors B&R Motorsports Cinch Graphics Yamaha, Ronnie Rush. Celebrating 27 years as an XC1 Pro, riding aboard the number 15 from Aurora, Ohio, on a GBC Fly Racing Factory Yamaha, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher. And last and certainly not least, riding aboard the number 703 from Petersburg, Indiana on Action Off-Road, Maxxis Demery Motorsports backed Yamaha, Austin Abney. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this, the Parts Unlimited Mason-Dixon GNCC. As our riders make their final choices for their start positions for the start of this 2-hour battle that is about to ensue, we have one more order of business to get out of the way, and that is to clear this first turn. So as our DJ Elo exits the stage, he climbs aboard his trusty Yamaha R-Max 1000, and let's join together and ask him all at once. DJ Elo, remove That's right, the Monster Energy Activation Transport, a.k.a. MEAT, makes his way off the starting line here this afternoon and clears the way in the path for the 2-hour battle that lies ahead. History already being made coming into this round. It's today the largest point deficit a defending ATV champion has seen in GNCC history, as Walker Fowler is set to try to dig himself out of the deepest hole known ever by a defending champion. Can he do it? Well, if one can, it will be him. And we're getting the word right now that we're still just a couple of minutes away from getting things up and rolling. Ready themselves here on this starting line. Some 250 riders on the starting line this afternoon. Another great turnout. And as far as weather conditions are concerned here in southern Pennsylvania, right basically on the Pennsylvania-West Virginia line, nearly perfect conditions, bright blue skies, sunshine all around, and 79 degrees. Oh yes, perfection. Ah, yes. The anticipation continues to build as we wait for the final orders that we are in all systems go. We have a clear and ready racetrack. We have a clear and ready starting line. And right now, the final moment as timing and scoring sets the stage. And of course, with that being said, my friend, we are so close right now. Listening to radio traffic right now, seeing where we are in our start sequence, and Ricky Towery waits himself with bated breath to send these riders off into what we expect to be another day of history in GNCC racing. Can Bryson Neal keep the streak alive and make it 5 wins in a row here today and increase his point lead over Walker? And the big question, who's going to rise to the occasion today? We've seen it happen so many times. The young Glada Jr. definitely has made his mark. As we head into the second half of the season. Hunter Hart either as well as he loads the number 22 season. He's had his struggles, but he's made his sacrifices, and he's ready to lay it all on the line here today at the Mason-Dixon. Timing and scoring is ready. We're now waiting on a couple track changes to ensure that everyone will be going. So as soon as this has all been tied up, my friends, it's a tight race this morning. Got to tip the hat to the track crew to have us ready to go this close to the 2 o'clock hour with some hold-ups earlier this morning. We are here back on time here this afternoon, and of course we are excited about what the rest of the afternoon holds. With, of course, coming up EMTB after this. We've got ATV racing and, of course, the 7th annual Mowgli Memorial Dog Show that's going to be taking place as a part of the GNCC Kennel Club here at the Mason-Dixon GNCC. There's pretty much a hush across the starting line right now as we're waiting for the magic words that we are ready to go. So, hey folks, well, we got it. So you can watch GNCC live right here on Racer. Forget, each and every Wednesday, starting at 6 o'clock, it's GNCC on Mac TV. As the teams fire up, Ricky Towery gives them the order. As our start sequence is now about to get underway. Oh, fifth. And as he steps out, he will be ready to signal these riders of 1 minute before the start of the race. And right now, Ricky is ready himself, giving these riders time to go. A quick adjustment, please. And he lets these riders know 1 minute, 1 minute before the start of this parts of GNCC. So right now, folks, things are really starting to amp up. Already a lot of anticipation with this one, with the battle that lies ahead. The wait has only made it worse for some of these riders as they are chomping at the bit. And the blue flag waves. We are less than 30 seconds away, folks. Shut them down, shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. As we are about set to go GNCC racing here in Pennsylvania. I got to ask you, Mason-Dixon fans, are you ready to go GNCC racing? You almost sound ready, but I'm going to have to ask you one more time to make sure. Are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC up and roll. Mason-Dixon GNCC. And out of the first turn, it's the number 2 and number 1. And it is Hunter Hart, the number 2, grabbing the early lead. Fowler in that number 2 spot, and the number 9. Chris Sports right there in the number 3 spot as they disappear out of sight. XC2 Pro-Am coming up next in 10 seconds. Jay Shadron, Shane McMillan, Grayson Eller, Brandon Owens, Kenny Schick, Nick Royalty, Dylan Hayes, Daniel Peters, Chase Allison, Wayne Wilkin, Dylan Walraven, Steve Harrell, and Tanner Walker. .621, Wyatt Wilkin crosses the whole shot line strike first. JM Motorsports, GBC Tires, and Focus X back ride. As we go to our next row, the Junior A 22-plus class in 10 seconds. Jeremy Locke, Brady Myers, Bryson Mullahan, also Henry Moore, Justin Miller, Alex Elliott, Andrew Hickson, Jason Como, Toby Hughes, Frankie Egres, Seth Wilson, and Caden Ryan. It's the 3:17. Alex Elliott out of Valley City, Ohio, to B&R Motorsports GBC Tires HMF back ride as we go down to the Vet A 30-plus class next. And they are ready in 10 seconds. Jeffrey Pickens, Brad Whitehead, A.J. Kuntz, James Green, Jonathan Fugate, John Arnold, T.J. Barrett, Nick Muno, Michael McAvoy, Kevin Yoho, and Jared Little. the 25. Brad Whitehead crosses the line first, but it is Big Papa P. Jeff Pickens getting the early lead at the end, the inside line there. Coming up next, senior A40 plus class. Dirk DeCesar, Zachary Phillips, Brian Axline. 10 seconds. Dominic Minichi, Jeremy Gouchard, Dave Ashby, Charles Glacken, Chris Conklin, Todd Moscalo, the Marble Man, also Brian Shaw and Ronald Varndell. The 8:28, Brian Shaw from Harrisville, Pennsylvania. Shaw Excavating. MEK Racing back to the J 16 to 21-year-old class next. 21 riders ready to roll in 10 seconds. Keaton Henderson, Alex Tiemann, Cody Forrester, Ian Burns, Dalton Keys, Riley Salick, Nathan Dearborn, Christopher Howard, Trevor Furby, Ethan Meyer, Austin Scott, John Astrap, Zach Knight, Chance Parker Henderson, Corey Vanderliner, Lane Fielder, Damian Hawkins. 20. Myers back right, grabbing the early lead there as we go to the junior B22 plus. Boyle, Sean Newhouse, Logan Case, Colin Dunn, Noah Howard, and Nicholas Blaney. Ford from Hopedale, Ohio, in our GBC, and Scott Backstride at B30 plus class. Pat Prabata, David Weber, Ben Bowen, or Bowman rather. That might be Pancake out front. Oh, he swings out wide. Oh, that's the 3.54 of Shane Spineweber from Butler, Pennsylvania. Old Butler boy. Senior B, 40 plus. Coming up next. Tim White, Rick Marino, Douglas Bailey, Shane Worth, Chad Judy, Jason Rude. 10 seconds. Jason Pfister, Jeremy Van Rossen, Lane Reiser, Chad Wallace, Robert Stephen. Ollie. .110, Douglas Bailey from Lumberport, West Virginia. Goldspeed, Fast Flex, and your friends at RG Honda. Coming up next, College B, 16 to 21-year-olds in 10 seconds. Michael Worth, Denton White, Andre Williams, Connor Brent, Gunnar Filler, Caden Lembruno, Alex Gross, Connor Adair, Hayden Hunter, Xander White, Blake Sugart, Sam Zumbati, Bryson Bellamy, David Witt, Gavin Temple, Briggs Lazelle, Evan Grannon, Ryan Hendershot, Adam Ray, Owen Burns, Evan Osborne, Nathan Fravel, Jeremy Koger, William Walden. I don't know, that might have been Bryson Bellamy grabbing the early lead. 33 riders strong, including William Walden, Adam Saffel, Josh Turner, DJ Mallow, Alex Nelson, Ryan Mason, Easton Snyder, Kane Skinner, Ricky Surgeon, and Travis Dudley all now on this track. Just under 200 riders now traversing the course here at the Mason-Dixon GNCC. And again, the big questions to be answered. Will Walker Fowler begin to dig himself? Did well Bowen take or something else today?
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Chematic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Chematic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Chematic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Chematic. Chematic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Ben Kelly here, 2021 GNCC champion. Subscribe to Racer X and get yourself a fresh FMF t-shirt.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by Specialized. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
And good afternoon, and welcome back to GNCC Live here on RacerTV.com. I'm Mike Ewaynes. You guys have already heard from my colleague, Rodney Tomlin, down on the starting line with those iconic 10-second calls. Apologize for the audio quality there at the starts, something we have battled all day. But, hey, we're good now. Everything's okay. So we got our worked out, got some good camera shots in store for you guys today as well. Hey, this is the Parts Unlimited Mason-Dixon GNCC here at the Matthews Family Farm in Mount Morris, PA. And some may consider it. I may know those boys. I might plead the fifth on this. It says Free Howard's Hole. Couple Free Howard's Hole signs. And I can vouch the other side of that sign says the AM guys want to run the hill. Or want to run the hill. That's Iron Man. That's back home for me. Sorry. The AM guys want to run Howard's Hole. That's what's coming up next. So I asked them, I said, you guys, is this literally the pregame for Snowshoe? And they said, you're darn right. they may have said a few other things too, but no doubt about it, those boys are having fun as they head out to the FMF PowerPoint recruiting. They're already campaigning for Howard's Hole, so gotta love it. Gotta love the Mud Fleas, no doubt about it. We are looking at the FMF PowerPoint mile marker number 1. To get us started, if you're just tuning in, we want to take a look at those specialized start replays for the XC1 and the XC2 class. And off and rolling. A man who is coming off a podium finish just a round ago. I think most would agree. I think he would agree with you as well. Oh, a little checkup from the neck up right there. Hunter Hart going wide, but able to close in and grab the holy. Oh, that one was close, though. I can't lie. That was tight. That was tight. But nonetheless, it was Hunter Hart grabbing that hole shot. At least that's who we heard got the credit for it. And we are off and rolling here in round number 1 for the XC1. And, boy, Hunter Hart, I got to think that last round of racing coming off that P2 was only a confidence builder for him as he headed here in today for the Mason-Dixon GNCC. And the XC2, it's going to be Wyatt Wilkin going up and grabbing the holy. Who is going to stop Jay Shadron? The man's been perfect in the XC2 to this point of the season. And I just don't know if anybody's going to be able to stop him. But, hey, don't want to speak too soon. There's plenty of talent out there in the XC2 class to be able to contend. Brandon Owens, Wyatt Wilkin, a couple of those guys, Tanner Walker, several other guys out there who are without a doubt contenders in the XC2 class. So there you go. There is a look at our start recaps presented by Specialized. And I think we'll take a look now at the Yamaha Racing track map. And the Mason-Dixon GNCC, as you can see here, a little more than a 12-mile race course for our riders here today in this morning's 2-hour amateur race, which features the 4x4 and WXC. Saw a 4-lap race. I think probably expect to see that here this afternoon. But reports I got everywhere from the micro, the little rippers, the 4-year-olds, on up to the 4x4 guys, the WXC pros. Kind of had the same race report. It was, man, this track is fun. I had a lot of fun out there. So I think that's we're going to be in store for a great race here today. No doubt about that. Taking a look now at the Monster Mile. Those featured sections at every GNCC track here. The Monster Mile, again, leaders should be checking in here in just a moment. There he is, numero uno. That man right there, Walker Fowler, has some work to do. If you did not tune in last race, went Hunter Hart. Excuse me. Oh, I'm all choked up about it. Sorry about that. But again, Walker Fowler certainly is going to have his work cut out for him. If you did not tune in during the pre-show, kind of mentioned it. It's more of our XC1 guys rolling through right here. But uncharted territory for Walker Fowler. Uncharted territory really for Bryson Neal. Now, you might argue, well, come on now. Bryson Neal's had the points lead before. You're correct. But as he had it in this, I think that was Josh Merritt right there, but has he had it in this fashion to where it is, in Walker Fowler's words, post-race, off-air, he said, it's now Bryson's to lose. And I think he's right. I mean, you look at it, and even if Walker came away with a P1 as Jay Shadron, the XC2 now already up into, well, not quite up into the XC1, but certainly chomping at the bit to get up there with those guys. But you got to think Bryson Neal has that added pressure now of, hey, I just got to go out and I got to ride my race. Or maybe he says, hey, there's no pressure on me at all. I just got to go out and have fun and seal the deal. But I think I'm with Walker on that. He's right. This is Bryson's to lose at this point. He's just got to ride well. And if you're Walker Fowler, Johnny Gallagher right there. But if you're Walker Fowler, it's, hey, I got to go win. And I got to win, and then I got to win, and then I got to win, and I got to hope to chip away at this thing and hope that Bryson Neal finishes off the box. We talked about it all season long. I'm sure we'll talk about it more when Rodney Tomlin joins us here in the booth, but it's one of those things where we talked early on in the season. This is going to be a situation where, hey, whoever finishes off the box first, that might be the season. I had no idea when we said that it would be a situation where Walker Fowler finishes outside of the top 20 and does not score any points. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Well, incredible is not the right word, but unfortunate, I guess you could say. But nonetheless, Bryson Neal absolutely getting the job done this year to this point.
And Rodney Tomlin joining us in the booth now. We just got to look at XC1 coming through. Walker out front, Hunter in the 2 spot. And already Jay Shadron up into the rear of the XC1 class early in this one, Rodney Tomlin.
Definitely no surprises on that. The old switcheroo. Definitely no surprises on that one, Mikey. To know that Jay Shadron is rolling. And, I heard you make mention, and I agree and believe that, we're going to see some extra folks start to mount some challenges in that XC2 class. And there is a lot of talent deep in that pool there. But they're going to have to really overcome a huge obstacle in a hungry Jay Shadron at this particular point in time. But, just like we saw a couple of weeks ago, even the mighty sometimes find themselves in an awkward position or a situation they definitely don't want to be in. As Walker Fowler, I've been doing a little bit of research, and I've been trying to find, and I haven't been able to find anything that disputes anything that I say. I even talked to Barry Hawk about it. This is the largest point deficit that a defending GNCC ATV champion has ever been dealt with, trying to come back and win another championship. I mean, what are we looking at, 36 points or something? I can't.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, 36 on the nose, actually.
36-point deficit, and I knew that's what I calculated last time. I wanted to make sure that was right. But nonetheless, that's huge. That's monumental. And in talking with Barry Hawk, and whenever that point was made, Barry got this look on his face like, wow, man, I don't even know if Walker can do this one, But the thing about it is, we've got 6 more races of racing to go at this particular point, including today's race. And with that being said, we know that every finish is not guaranteed. Every race is not guaranteed. So we're going to be in this one to the bitter end, I think, for every rider out there that is in contention or close to contention right now, especially those front two, Walker and Bryce.
Yeah, the other side of that is I think after Hunter Hart's race last round, finally finishing up on the box, not just finishing on the box, but a pretty convincing P2, and comes out and grabbed the whole shot, which was very close.
That was very close.
Very close. But I think he's another guy to keep an eye on here late in the season. I think even if you ask Hunter Hart, he's going to say no, the first more than half of this year did not go the way that Hunter Hart wanted to or expected it to. And I think he kind of calmed down, he settled in, and I think fun is probably the word to describe Hunter Hart at least this last round, and hopefully today as well.
But definitely one thing to point out about Hunter coming into this one, though the number 2 plate is not a championship plate,
Sure.
what it is that runner-up. And though the number 1 carries a lot of weight, you have to think that the 2 plate does in this class as well, because to be able to fend off the charges and the advancements of that. So, it's not a championship, but the number 2 plate in GNCC ATV racing is a very coveted thing. So you've got the biggest target on your back, I believe, is what the number 1 guy does, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, I think maybe the weight of that might have played a little heavy on Hunter there, and he played a few mind games with himself and got himself out of contention. But like you say, back to the right mindset, having some fun. That's what's going to put Hunter in the position that we know Hunter is capable of riding in. We watched it, it's been echoed so many times about how great his, from his youth racing into his amateur racing, obviously through amateur and XC2 into the XC1 Pro class. And though, he's got a couple of wins under his belt, he has his days of struggle and he has his days of victory, so to speak. Really looking for that consistent platform, though.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm throwing it out there, Rodney. I think today's going to be one of those wild days where we get 1 or maybe 2 guys on the box that we're thinking, oh, I didn't see this coming. I say that because coming off the WXC, the women's pro class this morning, Hannah Hunter won, and you hear that at home, and you're like, yeah, that sounds right. Well, then Andrea Rogers took second, her first time on an overall or a WXC pro podium. Morgan Soulsby takes P3. So there was just something in the air this afternoon.
Even I feel that if you notice, just before we went to break, I was pointing out the fact, and I talk about the battle between Bryce and Neil, and, that seems to be most of the hype and everything that goes along. But if you noticed, I said, "Oh, will someone else come to play?"
Yeah,
and
there's something in the air.
There's something in the air that feels, and I wouldn't be surprised that if one or both, maybe our champion contenders, might not even be on the podium today.
Oh, that's bold.
That is bold. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying I won't be surprised.
Hey, it's our job to build the hype. We got to build the hype. I'm about it.
And honestly, the way things are starting out, I'm not sure where Bryson is at this particular point, but you think that a 36-point gap would be something that would be, oh man, the weight is off, I've got this. I think it's just the opposite for Bryson.
I agree with you on that.
I think what that points gap is really heavier probably than maybe a 5-point lead heading into the last round,
Yeah.
just simply because he knows what we've been talking about. There are still 6 rounds of racing left to go, including today's round of racing. And with that being said, he knows that there's a lot of unknown variables.
Yeah.
And he knows that anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at just post-race interviews with Bryson last race. Obviously, that was the location where Bryson ended his season. And no, Walker didn't end the season, but that mechanical kind of brings back these. You could see it, and Bryson was, man, I'm stoked about the win today. I'm excited to have the points lead like I do, but I don't want to win like this. I want to go mano-a-mano with the guy,
and I believe
I respect him for that.
I honestly believe
it as well.
And I believe that Bryson wanted to take it down to a winner-take-all last round of racing. And, I mean, I don't believe that's what Walker wanted. However, he would much rather have it that way than the way it is now. Walker likes that little bit of domination, that edge that he can build over everybody. On the other hand, I think Bryson right now is just in it for as much of anything as the excitement. He likes the excitement level. Walker's over the excitement. He wants domination.
Sure.
So we'll see what today brings. And, all Walker can do is go out and do what he can do. All Bryson can do is go out and what he can. And we'll see where it settles when the dust clears on this one. Man, this is nose to tail battling we got going on right here.
Hunter Hart all over it right now.
2x2s they come through there now.
I think it might have been Coltrane and Bryson Neal right there in 3 and 4, it looked like.
Yeah, we'll get a little better look at these guys washed out as our riders on our monitor anyway coming through. We need a big 75.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
Like we're standing trackside.
I'm ready.
But nonetheless, these guys aren't real close together. Again, they aren't real far apart, Mikey, but they're just far enough apart where we could see lots of separation start to take place here on lap number 2.
I think a big takeaway in that one, Hunter Hart, is he's not waiting around.
No.
He's not waiting around anymore. We saw this in him last round. You could see him on the track I have to be up there with Walker Fowler early in this. I have to be up there with Bryson Neal. He's doing that here this afternoon, and it's showing. And now the question is, can he do it for 2 hours?
The big question, whenever you come into a situation like this, and I know that Hunter and so many riders, when they come in and they've been dominant coming into the class after, through the amateur ranks and through the XC2 ranks, and maybe even as far back as the youth ranks, that they've shown nothing but dominance. And then when they get to the pro class, recognizing obviously they get a lot of, hey, the pro class, it's a big step. You're not going to do as well as what you think you're going to do. It's going to be a little tougher. The pace is different than what you think. So they kind of concede to that, and oftentimes, or especially a rider like Hunter, who was a mature rider for what he was, try to play the mature thing and say, I'm going to ease myself into this. I'm not going to let. But on the other hand of that, and look at this. Here they come nose to tail. It's still that kind of battling in these tight woods right now. And look at this. 3rd and 4th are closing up a little bit more. But what I'm thinking is maybe it would have been better off for Hunter to come in with that big chip on his shoulder, with that, hey, nobody's going to stop me. Hey, these guys aren't who they think they are. I'm Hunter Hart. If he would have came in with that idea, and maybe if he switches to that attitude, we could see a different flavor as far as his finishes and things of that nature.
McGill rolling through just a second ago, so McGill kind of on that island by himself right now. Should be checking in here less than a mile now away from the finish line. We'll get an idea what we're looking at as far as these time gaps. Forget it. There really isn't a time gap out front. Sure, on TV, yeah, there's a couple of seconds, but yeah, that's pretty much as close as it's going to get right now. And it's been interesting, Rodney. I've loved seeing this season. You know, primarily it's been between Walker and Bryson, the aggressive riding of pushing that guy in front of you. Yeah, you're behind him. Yeah, you want to see his lines, you know, that strategic play. But this season, and right here we go is a good example. Walker Fowler went a little wide right there, grabbed maybe a little too much throttle, which is shocking to say, but Hunter able to reel him in just a tad. We've seen that this year. These guys have not been afraid to try and force the guy in front of them into a mistake.
Bryson Neal now up to the number 3 spot. He's just out of camera shot right here as we're watching the battle, and this is the fever. Look at this. Here comes Hunter Hart. Hunter's already trying to strike. He's trying to pull up side by side of Walker Fowler. Fowler does find a little bit more throttle there, but man, he is under pressure right now. And Hunter Hart is trying to stick it to him. I think he may. Didn't hear my advice, but I think he may be thinking along the same lines that I'm thinking right now.
Hey, he's listening to our finally good audio quality here on Racer TV. And he's like, all right, you boys want a show? We'll give you a show. But we got to get Jeff Russell to just clear out all these trees. You know, just clear
at least the branches so we can see down through to the track anyway. There's our free snowshoe, or what is that?
This right now, this is the other side of the Free Howard's Hole sign. It says DJ Judd Snowshoe 2022. I said, you guys know he's not here. He's out of Pro Motocross this week. And they're like, oh, really? That sucks. But I said, don't worry. He'll be back. He'll be here for Snowshoe. And I know he'll be getting a screenshot of this from somebody. He'll be stoked to see that.
Yeah, I got to give a big tip of the hat to Eddie Lojack Jr., son of the 9-time GNCC champion Eddie Lojack Sr. But Elo, great DJ. He is filling in for DJ Judd today. And Judd, I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything, but someone says if you're not here, and look at that, you're right. He was going for the kill. He was going for the strike. He must have got him early in that wooded section. Look right behind him. There was Bryson Neal, and there's Cole Richardson, Devin Feehan right behind him. Those top 5 right now, Mikey Waynes, are very closely knit together. You start doing the timing and scoring. They were about 10 seconds that separated those riders whenever they came through the finish line. They're out here just outside the TV trailer now. We can hear them as they are heading for the pro pit area. There is Hunter Hart, and you have to think there's a couple of things going on here right now. Walker Fowler saying, whoa, wait a minute, what's up with this? And then secondly, Hunter Hart saying, look out, guys, it's time for me to shine. It's time for me to shine.
Ooh, look at him stretching it out right now.
I'm telling you, it's what I said, man. You said it, I said it. We feel something looming in the air today. Will it be the rise of Hunter Hart here at the Mason-Dixon GNCC? The North and the South going at it toe-to-toe here today. But, man, it looks like the Yankee might be pulling this one out at the moment.
Hunter, can we still call him that? I mean, he's almost an adopted Florida boy at this point.
That's true. I mean, he could very well consider himself a change of allegiance there and be a Southern rebel boy, you know what I'm saying? And he does kind of look more the part of a Southern rebel boy.
Hunter Hart right there. We can see him through the trees just enough. So Jeff Russell did actually get up there and trim some of those back for us. But no, but Hunter Hart trying to stretch it out right now. And at the same time, I think if you're Walker Fowler, Hunter was all over him. It's like, hey, you know what? Go have at it. I'm just going to try and keep you within my sights.
Well, I think Hunter may be taking a page out of Bryson Neal's book. He realizes and recognizes Walker's got a limit as to how fast he's willing to go.
Yeah.
And Hunter pushed it, it looks like. And Hunter's pushing it now because that gap is widening now between first and second place. My question is, if we drop back just a little bit, how tight is it between second and third? Has Bryson been able to get any favors from this yet?
That's a good point. Haven't seen it on screen yet, but yeah, you got to think with open track in front of him, he's not having to eat some dust and should be able to chip away and get up there and get in the fight with Walker Fowler.
Well, our front 5, I believe, have made their way into the woods. That would be, I believe, Adam McGill, or Devin Feehan, or McGill checking in through there now. John Glotta Jr., Jared McClorby coming in behind them as they motor their way through. We're back now. This, I believe, is this the 11? The 3. Okay, I was going to say, I was thinking this is more along the 3-mile marker. The Yamaha section is mile marker 3. The Method Race Wheels is mile marker 11. Conveniently for the camera operator, he just spins around.
Yeah.
They're really close together. Actually moves just a little bit. He's down on his down on the ground level, holding that camera on his shoulder. So a lot of hard work. 2-3 hours today, another 3 or 4 hours tomorrow. Those guys really got to tip our hat to the Racer TV crew, as they work so very hard in adverse conditions, and even out in the sun, the dust, the mud, whatever it is, the rain, the wind, they're out there in it, and they're trying to give you the best that they can give you, and our hats off to them.
Hunter Hart out in front. Rodney, it's interesting. I always talk to Hunter. It's always interesting to see what he's going to say to me on Fridays.
Right.
Probably same to you, even in Saturday mornings, because there are some guys out there, pro guys, that are like, I never go back and watch the race. I don't want to.
Right.
Then there's Hunter Hart, who I'm pretty sure has a notebook, has a laptop out. He's taking notes on everything said. He's taking notes on every single corner. Hunter Hart goes back and watches the footage without a doubt, and
like the game
takes
film.
notes. Yeah,
game film.
And
so
it's showing right now, I think.
It is, and we just saw in the same shot there, Mikey, we were wondering the closeness of that top 3 positions. They're about the same distance between first and second and third as they led into this wood section here. And Hunter Hart is really commanding control at this particular point. Now, my question is going to be, okay, he let Hunter Hart go by, or Hunter Hart got by.
Sure.
Is he going to be maybe fighting a little bit harder to keep Bryson Neal from making that pass? Because all of a sudden at this particular juncture, he isn't gaining points. He's starting to lose more points.
Yeah, hey, first to third's pretty big for Walker Fowler right now.
It is. And, you know, it as much as anything, Mikey, it would be a mental defeat as much as a physical defeat at this particular point. And you have to wonder what that would do for Walker for the rest of the race. I mean, we're just barely a little over a lap into this one. And if he is already shaken, he's back against the ropes, dent in the armor, however you want to call it, you know, this could be a turning point as far as this whole championship altogether.
There you go. 1, 2, 3. Hunter Hart, Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal. Just how we drew it up in the TV room. No, wow.
Cole Richardson and Devin Feehan should be checking. Yeah, we couldn't have scripted this.
Right, yeah.
It's, as much as we want to.
Love to, yeah, would love to. Love to see a 3-dog fight out there. I mean, we've had the Bryce. There goes Adam McGill right there. Still on that island by himself back there. What is that, 5th?
Sixth place. Yep.
So still trying to catch up with those front guys. See what he's got in store for him. That's a tough position to be in. John Glotta. Oh, it was McClure then Glotta.
Yeah.
McClure got around Glotta, so forgive me on that. The sneaky snake doing his thing.
Jay Shadron back there in the number 9 spot is checked in with the lead.
I was going to ask where he was.
Yeah, he checked in with the lead in that class. 9th overall. Steve Howard checks in only 4.8 seconds, just under 5 behind Shadron in the number 2 spot, 10th overall. Brandon Owens less than 0.3 of a second, less than a third of a second behind, 0.270. Brandon Owens is 11th overall. He's 3rd in class. Austin Abney was another 40 seconds back in the 4th place position. So those front 3 are really stretching things out. They've hit a pace that I don't think Austin maybe recognized they were going to hit that early on, and he's already lost sight, he's lost contact, and unless something happens in this race and he's able to catch up to those guys, I don't think he's going to realize or recognize just exactly what they did there.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Abney's got to get on it. He's had some back issues this year. Certainly has held him back a little bit in that XC1 Pro class, but boy, how about the heater these front 3 are putting on right now?
So what do you think's going on here? I know you got Hunter Hart up front, whose heart rate is I know he's got to be trying to control that heart rate right now, but he's got the 2 of the best in the business right behind him. The guys battling for the championship, Walker Fowler and Bryson Neal, and they're just all tiptoeing around. Bryson doesn't look to be riding aggressive at all right now, and neither does Walker as far as that is concerned. But man, you have to wonder right now, what is Hunter Hart thinking? How is he feeling? What is Walker Fowler thinking? How is he feeling right now?
I think Walker has got to find a way to win today. I think obviously that's going to be the quickest way to get back into it, get some wins, 30 points at a time.
It's the only way to get it back
chip
in.
At it. At the very least, he's got to finish in front of Bryson. But I think Hunter Hart his heart's like a hummingbird. That dude just operates on a higher frequency or something. So I think he feels right at home where he's at right now. And I also think Hunter Hart, I'm not saying that Bryson Neal doesn't respect Hunter Hart. I'm not saying Walker Feller doesn't respect Hunter Hart. But I think if Hunter Hart can come out and, hey, man against man, come out and beat him, he goes up in their books, and they say, okay, hey, this guy's here to play. He's not messing around.
I think there is a sense of respect there. And I think what you're saying is you're hitting the nail on the head with that, because it lifts him to a whole different perspective as far as that position.
I love Jay Shadron's got the headlights, and it makes me so happy.
I know. I was like looking at that, and it kind of caught my attention. But yeah, he's got them taped over, obviously, I think. But you can still see a little bit of light glimmering through there. And I think that's a neat thing as well. It's one way that people can definitely sort you out from the rest of the field, no doubt about that. Well, Mikey, I tell you what, dude, we are definitely in the thick of a heater, no doubt about it, on a lot of different levels. Some 37 minutes now into this race. And, of course, Walker Fowler trying to play catch-up right between Hunter Hart and Bryson Neal, 1, 2, and 3. Can Walker pull this one out, or will Hunter get the big win? Stick around to find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency and my recovery.
The Rock Run GNCC has always been known as just that, a rock run, but a whole lot of fun. And though there are a lot of rocks, this track has something for everyone. And on this day in Yamaha history 2011, it was no different. A young Jedediah Haynes grabbed the early hole shot, but it was New Zealand's Paul Whibley who gained early control. The Axeman Whibley, on board his Am-Pro-backed Yamaha, was able to pull away a 21-second lead at the end of lap number 1 over riders like Mike Lafferty, Charlie Mullins, Caleb Russell, Chris Bach, and many more. A hot, dry day made racing extremely challenging, testing the rider's skill, patience, and endurance. Josh Strang, the defending champion, laid chase to Whibley, closing that gap on lap number 2, and by the end of lap number 2, it put Paul Whibley nearly against the wall. A side-by-side battle through those rocks and through those trees and through that dust made for a lot of excitement. As the race wore on, Whibley saw that gap begin to widen back up. It went from 5 seconds at the end of lap number 2 to 19 seconds to 34 seconds, and by race's end, an amazing 1 minute and 56 seconds over second place. It was a banner day for Paul Whibley aboard his Am-Pro Yamaha, marking not only another great win for this rider, but also seeding the heart for a 2012 championship to follow only 1 year later. And that's this week in Yamaha history.
Canati Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
Well, consistency will definitely play a huge key in things, Mikey Waynes, as we welcome you back here to the Parts Unlimited Mason-Dixon GNCC. Rodney Tomlin along with Mikey Waynes, and now joined here by our good buddy Hardcore Jeff Harvey as we are waiting on the leaders at the 8-mile marker. Our unofficial results are telling us Fowler, Hart, Neal, but it is actually the last time we checked Hart, Fowler, and Neal. And it has been a while since we've seen these riders, so when they come back into sight, as close as they were, we cannot be surprised if there's another change that has taken place. Back there stalking from that number 3 position, it seems like, with no sense of urgency, is Bryson Neal. But every time we've seen him riding like that, it seems like he comes out on the other side of something like this with a huge lead. Something took place out there, and he gets into the number 1 spot. So we'll see if it works that way today.
I think, you know, what's interesting about Bryson, you look years past, it seemed like he was always that 100-mile-an-hour guy. I mean, just like go, 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 go. It was all or nothing. And I think we're seeing a really good example now, and the maturity level of Bryson Neal. He's patient back there in the 3 spot, and especially with the points lead he's got now, he's thinking, and now Walker Fowler back out in front, and Hart second, and Neal third. But Neal, patient. I mean, patient right now. He's not trying to push the issue at all. He's just kind of looking for an opportunity. Meanwhile, it looks like Coltrane and Devin Feehan trying to join the fight as well. And they say, enough of this 3-man show. Let's make it a 5-man show.
Yeah, that's interesting to see. We are starting to see that tighten back up. And kind of cool, you know, because we're seeing, instead of the race stretching out, things are tightening up as we near the halfway point, so to speak. We are seeing a little bit of a gap back to that 6th spot there. As you said, Adam McGill on that island back there. But, you know, he's not out of it yet. I mean, the seconds that we're looking at there are within a 15 to 20-second deficit. So it's not an unsurmountable deficit that he can make up and get right back into the thick of things and find himself maybe in a position to take a win by the end of this one as well.
Sneaky Snake back here, kind of in that same situation. Gap in front of him, gap behind him, just trying to hit his marks, find some speed.
I really think you guys are going to see Bryson at this point be a very controlled racer, given he's got 36-point lead in the points. He knows that right now he's in the driver's seat. No need to do anything crazy right now. Keep the leaders in sight, and I feel like that's going to be his game plan, probably not only today but moving forward.
Well, remarkably, coming into the season, you remember talking with Bryson, I told you 75 to 80% is what he came in at. And we saw what he was able to do at only 80%. We've seen what he's been able to do since he's gotten 80, 82, 85, 89, 90, 95.
110, 120.
150. I mean, where is he at? Is he back to 100%? We would think so. Bryson Neal might.
If he's not, that's scary.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. And right now, seeing and watching Bryson Neal, I mean, he kind of looks like he did that first round. He is not making any presses, but he is impressing the fact that he is still fast without even trying to be at this particular point. So if he does unleash the beast, what are we going to see out there?
Yeah, I think you're in a situation where Rodney, you're going to start seeing him, show a wheel here in this turn, in this field, around this hay bale, and just kind of let those guys know that, I definitely do have the speed. We're just kind of racing here to see how things play out.
I'm playing with you, boys.
Yeah.
I'm playing. And even if he is or he isn't, if he can get that illusion that that's what's going on, that may win out in the end. But again, here we are. You look at the time on the clock. We're approaching the 48-minute mark as we catch up with our leaders one more time. Still being led now by Walker Fowler. Again, Hart had gotten around and led probably a good about near half of this lap, at least what we've seen so far. And Fowler back around him. You have to wonder what happened there. Did Hunter make a mistake? Did Walker just say, I'm not playing around back here in second place? I mean, it'll be interesting to hear the story on this one of what that particular juncture of the race meant to Walker Fowler and what kind of sense of urgency, if any, it may have put him in, being in that little sandwich situation he was in.
Well, you don't always have to be the faster guy. You just have to make sure the guy in front of you thinks you're faster.
Right.
So you got some mental head games going there, and I think it's huge if Hunter Hart can stay with the lead pack. I heard you and Mikey Waynes talking earlier about where do those guys think about Hunter, right now, and I think if he can establish himself as I can run up here with you guys, it adds another person to the mix.
Absolutely, and you look at what we're seeing today, what we saw a couple weeks ago out of Hunter as well. I think we're recognizing the fact that the true maturity is there. As mature a rider as he was coming in as a rookie, he is truly matured and maturing, I think. And what we've seen over the last couple of rounds may be pure examples of that. And it takes a while. You try to follow suit. You try to say, I got to be respectful. I got to play this. I got to bide my time. I got to, I got to wait for it to be my turn, so to speak. You know, but Hunter's never ridden like that. Hunter's always taken the turn. Hunter's always put himself in that position until he's gotten into this pro class. If he starts thinking like that again, just exactly like you said, it's a three-man shootout. And that's what we're seeing right here. And if that's what we are recognizing out of Hunter today, and if that is the same thing moving forward, man, can you imagine the excitement that we're going to have as far as battles down to the wire?
Absolutely. And Hunter talked several weeks ago, he said he really believed that he had the speed, that just needed some things to click and fall into place for him. A few things go your way, good start, lapper doesn't pull out in front of you, and just little things. But he felt like he had the speed to be there.
And that's one thing. You think about it, speed. Everybody should be on an equal playing field. And yes, for the most part, these motors and the speeds that you can achieve in the woods are probably pretty similar to it. But as much as it is a physical thing, it's a mental thing. And you've got to, the speed is there. You've got the speed in your machine. There's no doubt about it. Looks like some XC2 riders out here, maybe at our Monster Mile. But you've got the speed within the motor. There's no doubt about that. It's just, do you have the speed within yourself? And everybody can go that fast, but the question is, how fast can you, how long can you go that fast?
Absolutely. And most of the time, these guys would probably tell you, just like from the amateur side of things, there's more mental mistakes that will ruin your day than physical mistakes.
Absolutely.
Jeremy LaDon coming through there. That would be, I think, he junior.
Yeah, that junior A class, and that's been a pretty competitive class this year too. The last couple of years have gotten really competitive in that.
I think that was Devin Masters coming through after him.
Yeah, college A class is another class that is very highly competitive as far as that is concerned, Jeff. and trying to wait on the computer. I want to check in with some of that Junior A stuff. I know that we've got Kevin Yoho's out there in that one, along with the rest of the contingencies. You got AJ, and you got obviously JP, Jeff Pickens out there. So.
And the vet A class.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's and then obviously the Junior A class. We were talking. I got them mixed up. I will be honest with you. But the Junior A class has got some runners in it too. You talked about Jeremy Ladon there just a second ago. Jeremy is an amazing pilot. There's no doubt about it, coming from the ATV motocross world. But the thing you got to point out, he's got a rider in that class by the name of Alex Elioff.
Yep.
You know Jessica's husband that races in the WXC class, and that is one of the fastest couples that I think I've ever seen in off-road racing. We've seen some fast couples before, but both of those riders are top of the class. It's impressive too.
Yes, he's giving them all they want in that class for sure. He's giving them fits. You watch the leaderboard, and he's in the top 3 pretty regular.
Elioff leading right now. Devin Masters out of Morgantown, West Virginia, is second in that Junior A class. Jeremy Ladon, whom we saw on screen there, was running at the number 3 spot out of Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. Bryson Mollahan fourth in the class, and Caden Ryan from St. Clairsville, Ohio, rounds out the top 5 in that class. As far as the College A class that we were talking about there a moment ago, James Glotta, Lane McCormick. There's 2 names that you expect that are going to be better.
I think Bryson might have got around. Hunter Hart is in second behind Walker Fowler, I believe.
Sure looking like that, that's for sure. And that's one of those situations where I guess maybe when you look at the big picture, Bryson said, looks like Walker might be trying to get away. Yeah. So it's my turn to move up just a little bit. We can't have that happen.
Yep. He might have felt differently as long as Hunter was leading. You know, you're absolutely right there. Once Walker had out front, might have changed his thinking about, I probably need to get back up there and get on his grab bar.
I can imagine it wouldn't mind. Now, as far as the A class that I was kind of confusing along with the Junior A class, Jeff Pickens, Kevin Yoho, AJ Kuntz, those are 3 of the key players. Brad Whitehead, man, got an amazing start out there today. I don't know if you saw that on the start. He put it to JP, man. There's no doubt. But Jeff got around him real quick. But it's Jeff Pickens, Kevin Yoho, and AJ Kuntz. Those 3 right now. That right there in and of itself, 3 seconds apart. I wish that we could focus on that battle as much as anything, because you know that's a good one as well. Because this one's a good one. Walker Fowler. There is Bryson Neal.
That is Bryson in second.
And there is
Hunter Hart. Looks like they're trying to drop Hunter a little bit, but looks like Hunter's trying to push back up there and stay in contact with him.
This will be a good test, and we are at the 1 hour mark, and you have to say that Hunter has ridden at a high level for an entire hour basically since the drop of the flag. There's been no pacing, there's been no settling in. He's had to ride at that on speed the entire time, and I'm not saying that he doesn't train in this fashion before he travels to the races. So I'm sure he's used, but no matter how hard you try, you can't not replicate what it's like being here under race circumstances.
100%.
The course conditions, just the feeling in and of itself, just the vibe that you get from the air and the other competitors on the racetrack with you. So no matter how hard you try to simulate this, it's hard to do. So at this 1 hour mark, riding at that level, is Hunter beginning to wane just a little bit? I'm going to say maybe not so much now, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Yep.
This might be something that starts to happen here over the course of this next hour. And the reason I bring that up is because we talk about that 3rd hour so much on the motorcycle side of things. And what people don't realize is we run ATVs for 2 hours because they are more physically demanding than what a motorcycle is to ride on these courses. To put these ATV pilots through a 3 hour rigorous course like what we do a motorcycle would be hard on machine, man, and terrain and everything that comes along with it. So to liken it to that, when you start looking at that, this point of the race kind of is that 3rd hour.
Sure.
Or we're moving toward that 3rd hour if you compare it to the 2-wheel side of things. So it'll be interesting to see what happens is my point.
Yeah. Looks like he's actually reeled him back in a little bit, Rodney. So he's staying with the lead pack, the lead 2 there. And again, I think that's one of those things where as long as he can stay right there in contact, I think his fitness is there.
Absolutely.
You know he trains for this. But there's a big mental part of it about keeping those guys in sight.
Absolutely, Richardson to Feehan. We should see McGill coming down the trail here in just a moment. That gap is starting to open up just a little bit. It was 10 seconds. We were looking at 15 to 20 and maybe closer to a 30-second deficit now as we wait for the 5:21, the Gator, and then followed by John Glada and the Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure. Well, McClure, I'm a little surprised to see there is the 5:21 now, the Gator coming through, but I'm a little surprised, I got to say, that McClure is that far back here today. Don't know what put him back there. And right there is, they are nose to tail coming in. 2-lap board is out. It is Walker Fowler, it is Bryson Neal, and it is Hunter Hart.
Snake.
And there it is. That explains what's going on. There's been some sort of mechanical issue that has taken him back off pace, it looks like today. So he is in the pits. Whether this is a physical issue that we're looking at, and it's almost the way he's undressing right now, Jeff, I'm almost beginning to wonder that is that not crash related?
Yeah, it looks like he took a spill there based on his jersey, dirt on his left upper shoulder area there, and
the way
they're taking his water pack and stuff off there, it looks like he might have had a spill.
Yeah, the way he carries himself. Oh, we got side-by-side battle, and Bryson making the pass on Walker. Fowler trying to fire back as they head into the woods. Wow, Jeff, I tell you what, this is where we saw Hunter Hart trying to make that pass a lap ago, and when we saw them next, he had made the pass, out of this next section coming in. But anyway, this is very interesting because this is where some passing's going on, and this is going to get fun. So now Bryson Hill is out front, Walker Fowler in the number 2 spot, and the sense of urgency just went into the red zone.
Absolutely. Right now, you got to figure that only thing on Walker Fowler's mind right now is he cannot get out of sight from me right now. He's got to reel him back in.
I'll tell you, it's almost like Bryson came around, that 2-lap board came out, and it's just like he just flipped the switch, and he's just like, and he's trying to get up the speed right now. Got the afterburners on. We'll see over the course of the next little bit how much time, if any, he's able to stretch out over Walker Fowler. And if that's the case, how impressive is that going to be? There they are, nose to tail at the 1 mile marker, the FMF PowerPoint. There is Hunter Hart still right there in the thick of things. That gap back to Richardson and Devin Feehan now as we wait for an update on our timing and scoring. There's still some 20 seconds, or it's opened up to 20 plus seconds, actually 14 seconds now back to Richardson and Feehan.
Whoa! Trying to stick it in there.
I thought Walker was going to take him, put him out over, but last lap circumstance, that right there might have been not a good move for Bryson Neal. Walker Fowler showing what I could do, but did not do in the pits right now. Walker Fowler.
He's going to get out ahead of him.
He does.
So we've had another lead change based on stopping for gas.
Just a quick in and out for Walker Fowler. He grabbed a fresh pair of goggles and a drink, and he gets out just ahead of Bryson Neal. And Bryson's riding with a lot more aggression right now. Like I said, it's like that 2-lap board was like an anger switch or something, like, get out of my way.
Yep.
So here we go, and same thing for Walker. Walker recognized it as well, so he is at panic levels right now, and don't mean it necessarily in a panic level, but
sure.
Obviously the height of the sensation has heightened quite a bit, and these guys are on a totally different level. Watch, though, this is where we watch back there for 3rd place. This is going to be a great learning experience for Hunter Hart if he can hold to this pace today. Watch these guys go at it, and he doesn't even have to be in the thick of the battle. Just to see what the kind of pace these guys are pushing each other to battle like this will be a great visual and a great move forward for the number 2 rider.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a big difference between Hunter Hart finishing 3rd on the podium. Of course, he's going to be happy with that no matter what. But being 3rd and being in sight of the leaders is still way different than being 3rd and being 30 seconds back.
Then all of a sudden, you're not so happy with 3rd. What happened? There's Walker Fowler. I don't see in the camera shot. Now, there it is. Just a little further back. So the gap is opening up to, that is still Bryson Neal, is it not?
No, I think Hunter Hart's in 2nd now. Bryson Neal dropped to 3rd.
Yeah. What's going on here?
Looks like Walker got back around him, and Bryson must have made some kind of mistake or bobble. He's back to 3rd now, it looks like.
Well, Walker doing what he wanted to do, and that was
get back out in front.
Yeah, and present a sense of urgency for what looked like Bryson Neal to put him into some sort of mistake there that has given Walker a little bit of breathing room now.
So this might be Bryson Neal's signature. I mean, Chris Borich was the last lap guy.
Last lap guy, yeah.
Bryson Neal might be the 2-lap card guy.
Right.
That might be his go time.
Might be. I remember when Chris Borich was so dominant in the early part of his championship run. I remember going up to him one time and saying, Chris, it's too boring, brother. You've got to slow down and give us a show. And I don't know if that's what he was doing and gave these guys a chance and he would Borich them on the last lap. But, man, it was really exciting to watch it happen, that's for sure. But, it amazes me, you get those talents like Walker Fowler that for a few years and for an instance and a glimpse of time are so elite and so much better than everyone else. And no matter what you do, you don't feel like you can match that speed, but somehow or another, it eventually comes about and it happens. Let's get down to Mikey Wayne standing by in the pits.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, down here at the pits with Jared McClure. Was going to get an interview with Jared McClure. However, his collarbone visibly broken. Not quite a compound fracture, but it's certainly working on it. We've actually got medics on their way down here to take a look at Jared's collarbone. But that's going to do it for Jared today. He's in good spirits. He said, I'm good, Mikey. Just please get me a medic, get somebody over here. So, again, he's in good spirits, but certainly not a good ending to the day for Jared McClure.
No doubt about that. Thanks, Mikey Wayne's heartbreaker for the snake, and that will, you say that will take him out of running for the Snowshoe GNCC, but we're 3 weeks away from that, and we know how these collarbone deals work. If they go get that thing screwed together, they'll be back at the next race.
That's a tough break for Sneaky Snake, man, because it's one thing to have a mechanical, but man, now when you're dealing with an injury, that's another ball game altogether.
Oh yeah, that is certainly that exactly. And right now, our new ball game is underway right now with Walker Fowler and Hunter Hart in second, Bryson Neal in third, and so
I'm anxious to see how they come through here.
I am too.
They've swapped it around here.
I'm expecting a change. I don't know what the change will entail, but I expect that we're going to see some change here. Those guys are too tight. They're all too hungry. They're all pushing too hard not to make a little bit of a change. And here comes Walker Fowler.
Walker Fowler.
And that was
as Bryson and then Hunter
Hart. So Bryson's gotten back around Hunter. So now we're back at the 3 mile marker. So not a huge monumental change, but there is a change there.
It's like we just rewound to last lap.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly how they came through.
Exactly. There's your 4th place right now checking in. That is Cole Richardson. Was that Feehan?
No, that was Feehan. There's Cole Richardson in 5th.
They switched around there.
Actually, Feehan looks like he's closing the gap a little bit on the 3.
Absolutely. When they checked through at the finish line, they were about 14 seconds back. Feehan was a second behind Cole Richardson. He looks closer than 10 seconds, or right near 10 seconds anyway, behind that top 3-4 battle there. So Feehan is closing in on the top 3. Richardson still back about where he was.
And will the Gator still be in 6th spot here coming through?
There he is.
There he is. So he's pretty much rode by himself the whole race.
Yeah. That gap, 30 seconds now, we're looking back to McGill, and that stayed pretty steady. Yeah. It's about what it was the lap ago at the 3 mile marker as well.
Of course, he's now lost Sneaky Snake being out with an injury, so,
that should bring up, physically on the racetrack, that should bring up Josh Merritt, but we've got riders that are in time adjustment positions as well to put themselves in position for overall top 10s. And as we look at that, Brandon Owens checked in with the lead there in the XC2 Pro-Am class, and he is now 7th place overall. 2nd place, as we're seeing changes in XC2 now as well, Steve Harrell, 1 minute and 3 seconds back and 18 seconds back in 3rd is your 3rd place rider in XC2, Steve Harrell. So, Jay Shadrow, or White Wilpin. I'm sorry, White Wilpin. But anyway, here we go. I'll get it right here in just a minute. So what just happened there? We're at the Method Mile, or Method Alley 4 mile marker. We got some excitement going on there, Jeff.
So we had Walker Fowler coming through, just a tad bigger gap on Bryson Neal in 2nd, and then they had kind of dropped Hunter Hart a little further back than right there on the last shot at, I think, at the 3 mile marker. But then you still had Devin Feehan just came through there in 4th, and Cole Richardson rounding out your top 5 there, coming through the Method Race Wheels or Method Alley.
Yeah, just so big news. Jay Shadron back in the number 4 spot of the XC2 Pro-Am class. Just to keep you updated on that situation, because that kind of confused me a little bit too when I was reading down through the results there for just a moment. 1 hour and 6 minutes now into this race, Jeff, and there is at the 4 mile marker still on that 30-second deficit. Adam McGill, the Gator, that's got to be a tough spot to be in. Man.
It is, because,
really,
honestly, when you're riding by yourself like that, you almost either need to catch somebody or somebody catch you to help you just, tweak up the throttle a little bit and go a little faster. So, we talk all the time about how hard it is sometimes to pace off yourself. And you think you're going fast and you think that you're running the same pace, and you might not be and not even realize it.
Right, absolutely. And, and the mental game, we keep talking about the mental game. That's where the mind games start playing. You think, you feel, you think, and then all of a sudden it all clashes together. And you're either doing well or you're not doing so well. Either clicks or it don't click. But you figure it out no matter what. And right now, 1 hour and nearly 8 minutes into this race, we still have a barn burner and 1.5 laps to go. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Will Walker pull it off? Will Bryson pull it off? Will Hunter Hart pull the trigger on this one? Or will Devin Feehan surprise us all? Stick around to find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
USMCA has been connecting riders to certified coaches since 2016. There are over 300 active certified coaches on motorcyclecoaching.org, and we recently launched our new mobile app, making it easy to connect with a coach and book your next training session. So here's what you do. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app, then search for coaches and upcoming classes. Once a training session is booked, riders have the option to pay for their class and even get a calendar reminder that will automatically sync to their phone. Get connected today.
Good morning, my name is John Coffey. I'm an AMSOIL dealer from Southern Virginia. Today's AMSOIL Spotlight, it is on our beautiful, easy, and convenient Easy Packs. We have these for transmission fluids, differential fluids, and you talk about something that's super easy to change the differential fluid. In fact, I upgraded mine this week here. I freshened it up. Took me longer to drain the old stuff out. And then you can take this in any position, you can put it in, squeeze it out, and in about 30 seconds you've drained that into whatever you're trying to fill back up again. Again, we have them for differential fluids, transmission fluids, we have them for ATVs, UTVs, Polaris, Can-Am, we've got special transmission fluids as well. So no matter what position that you need to be in, these will take care of that. And they're super strong. You don't have to worry about them bursting or anything. And in fact, they're just amazing, really.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service, we know racing. Our inventory of Yamaha motorcycles, sport bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-side is extensive and constantly changing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
OnTrackSchool.com. Check it out.
Brown's RV Superstore is family owned and operated and stake their reputation on offering you the finest RVs available in their McBee, South Carolina RV dealership. Brown's RV Superstore carries motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers, and keep a huge inventory of new and used RVs in stock for you to choose from. They offer top dollar for your RV trade-in and help you get the RV financing you need. As a part of the GNCC family, Brown's RV Superstore, in partnership with Vengeance Toy Haulers, offers sponsorship packages for every level of racer with discounts and continued savings on your new toy hauler. Brown's RV Superstore has dedicated themselves to complete customer satisfaction, specializing in providing a positive start to your RV adventure. They look forward to customers coming back to share their tales from the road. Call Brown's RV Superstore today at 877-805-3658 or visit their website at brownsrvsuperstore.com, where family fun begins.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. I'm Rodney Tom along with Jeff Harvey and, of course, Mikey Wayne's out and about with us today as we are at the Parts Unlimited Mason-Dixon GNCC, the Matthews Farm in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Waiting on the leaders right now at the 8-mile marker. It's been an exciting race so far. Several different lead changes. Walker Fowler has led. I think maybe even Hunter Hart for, Hunter Hart led there for a little bit. Bryson Neal has led. Last check we had, Walker Fowler was back out front. Bryson had dropped the third, but back up to second, and Hunter was back to the number 3 spot. So it's just like it's like a pinball machine in there right now.
Well, it's been a while since we've had 3 different leaders at a race.
Right, and on 2 or 3 different laps like this. I mean, we are on lap 3 right now, so 2 laps complete, and through all 3 laps, we've seen lead changes.
Yep.
Well, maybe lap 1. I think Walker led the entire lap 1, but lap 2 and here on lap 3, it's been back and forth. There comes Walker now, and there right on that rear grab bar is the 241. Your points leader, Bryson Neal, trying to keep the damage from happening. Actually, again, he can afford to lose a little bit of time, but he's right in position. And again, when Bryson gets there behind Walker, he just does not look like he's pushing it. It almost looks as though he's being towed around the racetrack at that particular point.
And they have now dropped Hunter Hart. So he is at least 15, 20 seconds back. We haven't seen him yet here.
I'm going to say we may see Devin Feehan come around.
Nope, there he goes. There's Hunter.
All right, this will be interesting to see how close is Devin Feehan. Now there was Feehan right there.
And Coltrane. So now we've got a 3-man race for third.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you guys, the track conditions out there today are unbelievably perfect.
Good.
They truly are. Sometimes,
I should have raced.
Now you want to race.
We're thinking maybe an IXCR back home. We're going to make it happen. Anyway, sorry.
So
Jeff,
listen, I wonder when you made that bet how you were going to pull that off.
And it was. You know what? This was not on Racer TV, so I can say this. It was definitely the bourbon talking. It was on your show, Life Behind the Pros, and I might have made a wager and said if I lose, I'll race. I didn't say that. You guys volunteered me. There's Adam McGill right there. But
well, you said how would you race, and I said, well, I'll bring my practice bike.
Yeah, which you are a brave man. You are a brave man.
I promise you can't hurt it any more than I've already hurt it.
I don't know. But you were talking track conditions. Sorry about that.
Track conditions are ideal, guys. I mean, there's even in the field section, there's enough wind blowing. The dust is not a factor. The soil on the track is that this soil around here right now, this time of year, is packed in really nicely. The worst thing you might be dealing with is off-camber ruts in some of the downhill turns. But other than that, man, you can just go. There would be zero issues today based on the track conditions that would factor into this race.
Now, you mentioned off-camber. How are we on the off-camber? Is there a lot of off-camber out there today?
So, I guess from an amateur's perspective, yes, it felt like there was a lot of off-camber here and there, but just in short spots, just in like a lot of downhill away from you turns, making your turn back across the grain kind of turns.
It seems like memory serves me correct. I know a few years ago that was one of the things, if I'm not mistaken, it's this particular track that was kind of like a signature for at least that particular race.
Yes.
It seemed like the whole track was almost off-camber.
Yes, well, there's still a lot of that here, absolutely, for sure. The good thing today is the soil conditions are nice, that you're not sliding through the off-camber. It tacked up nicely.
And the rain that we got there on Thursday night leading into Friday morning, it was a little bit of a hindrance as far as getting in. Believe it or not, even on top of this hill, there was a lot of standing water in places as far as the pits were concerned. And I knew it was going to dry out on Friday. I knew it was going to continue to dry out today. As we are on camera once again with the lead, they are still nose to tail out here. And that rain did nothing but give us perfect conditions, and we see exactly what you're talking about. A little dusty out there in that open section, but the wind is blowing just enough. It's not going to be a hindrance for man or machine, it doesn't appear at this point, unless you get up in those plumes like that, like we're seeing happening right now as he is trying to latch onto that rear grab bar right now. Ballard doing a great job of keeping.
So, Rodney, if I'm not mistaken, we are close to the same area of the track in one of those field sections where Bryson made the pass on Walker just the previous lap.
Yeah, and I think it was one of those that we were a little bit surprised to see that the lead change had taken place, honestly. So we might get that big surprise again. But however, you have to think that, if he pulled the trigger in that spot, Walker's not going to let him shoot twice from the same spot, and then hit target anyway.
Nonetheless, I think Bryson's now in that let's use a Top Gun. Hey, new Top Gun movie's out, right? I mean, he's got him in the. It was pretty solid, but he's got him in the crosshairs. You got to take the shot, and Bryson. Yeah, I think in races past, where it's like, hey, whoever wins now has the points lead. And we go back to that conversation. Maybe we see Bryson say, "I'm not going to take the shot unless I absolutely know I can get through there smooth and clean." Whereas last race, the race before, we would see him make these really aggressive passes. So maybe we don't see that out of Bryson. Maybe we see a more conservative ride out of him.
I know you say that, but you weren't in here a few minutes ago, Mike.
when you said, forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was like the gloves were off. I mean, it became a whole different thing. And then Walker really came out with his own gloves off there trying to get back at him and was able to do so. But there were a couple instances where he really could have taken Bryson to the rail and probably put him out in a couple positions back. Had it been last lap circumstance, we may have seen something completely different right there.
And actually, Walker made the pass in the pits with a little bit quicker fuel stop.
Yeah,
and I did get to see that. Yeah. Nonetheless, it's been such a good season watching these guys go back and forth, and Bryson's just been stellar, and we're not done yet. We got 40 minutes left.
Oh, yeah, every bit of it. Right now, 15 minutes before these riders are due in for another lap complete. That'll put us at the 1:30 mark. They're running Let's see, 30-minute lap times, basically, just over 30 minutes. So we'll be right at or just over 2 hours whenever the checkers finally fly on this one, if they stay consistent on the pace they're on right now. And I expect that.
So I think the interesting thing is going to be here, of course, it'll be, but looks like it's going to be between Walker and Bryson to battle out for first overall position. But if Devin Feehan can get by Hunter Hart in that third spot, what can he close the gap back up into that front two? Because right now he looks like he's close to the quickest on the track right now.
I tell you, as we are drawing closer to the end of this lap, with a little more time, I would think that might be definitely in the realm of possibility. Not saying that it's out right now, but the longer this race goes on and the longer it takes him to get into that position and begin to close that gap theoretically. Look at
Here
this.
we go. Hey, you know what I said earlier? Just forget I said that. I was just kidding. I was just
Does
kidding.
that look conservative to you, Mikey?
No, not even a little bit.
Now, there are times, I know what you're talking about. We see him in the woods. It looks like he's but no, it's these areas right here where things really click up another gear. And like you say, he's got him in his sights.
Yeah.
And Adam Gordon asked the question.
Slingshot engaged.
Yes, slingshot engaged.
Is this NASCAR drafting? And I don't know what you call it right now, but I call it nail on the edge of my seat, nail biting, battling, and competition going on in GNCC racing, and kind of makes my head a little dizzy, to be honest with you. This is exciting. I mean, to think that we've gone at this level now, guys, for an hour and 22 minutes. That's solid racing, just like what we're seeing right now for an hour and 22 minutes, man. I mean, what it's doing for us as can you imagine what it's doing to these guys physically and mentally on this racetrack right now?
I know it's hard to believe, but I promise you both of them would tell you this is way more fun than running out by yourself.
I would think so too. And now I know both of them would like that. Well, Walker will tell you he likes to win by minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to tell you the exact. But now Bryson, on the other hand, might say a little different story. But yeah, Walker. Oh man, Walker is doing a great job of keeping that machine wide. I don't know if you're watching him right now, but he is keeping that machine right where. Every time that Bryson's thinking about going someplace, it's like Walker's already headed in that direction. So it's a really tight game of cat and mouse that we've got going on right now.
Rodney, he's just using all the track available.
There you go. And you have to. You have to in this circumstance, because I'm sure, and we know this and we see this and recognize that there are areas of the racetrack and certain sections of racetrack that some riders are a little faster than others. And I'm sure that Walker's thinking, if I could just keep him there till I get to my part of the track, then it's a whole different game on, So we'll see if that's the case or not, and whether or not Bryson's going to let that happen. Man, he is hot all over that rear grab bar.
Is this going to be 5 laps?
No, it's a 4-lap.
5, yeah, I think.
Okay. They're turning 30-minute lap times.
Okay.
Actually, we were 57 minutes, so that first lap was a little bit short, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 27 minutes or so. But lap 2 was a 30-minute lap time. We'll expect this will be a 30-minute lap time as well in that neighborhood, and that will put us right at that 2-hour mark when the checkers fly, if they stay consistent on this pace.
Man, Bryson Neal all over him. I mean, working the track too, that inside outside, looking for opportunities.
But they're getting right here. I'm coming out of this field section. There's a little tight section here that would be a place where they could bunch up a little bit. Not that they can get much closer than that, but you get in there with any type of lap traffic here coming up, that could be a factor as well.
That's one thing that there's not a lot. There hasn't seemed to be a lot of that today. I mean, I realize we're just now heading into the latter part of the race, and this is probably where we're going to see the majority of the lap traffic, but they really seem to be spread out quite a bit as opposed to what we've seen in recent races.
Ronnie, I think the track conditions are so good that unless there's just a kind of a knucklehead mistake, you're not going to see any bottlenecks today. So all that kind of thing that bunches guys up is a non-factor. I mean, guys can just roll at a pretty steady pace. Which might be part of the reason that we're not seeing a lot of lappers yet.
Has she got 2 drumsticks of chicken right now? Is that what?
I believe so.
Who's she going to feed?
The irony is the guy across from her has a shirt on that says, "I heart hot moms." I mean, this is just, we're not even at Snowshoe yet, folks, and those look like drummies.
Yeah.
Listen, of the top 6 guys, my guess is Adam McGill would be the one to grab one of those.
Oh, no doubt. He'll grab one. Hey, you got some hot sauce, maybe some syrup, some waffles. Let's do this. I really think those are chicken drumsticks.
They are. Absolutely.
I don't even know where you find those on race day.
Well, right over there. Nick,
you think Bex has got drumsticks?
Nick's don't know, but
you got chicken tenders.
They got chicken tenders, but my buddy
I'm really
Nick
wondering what she's planning on doing with them.
That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, like,
we're not ready to find out right here.
Here you go, pit stop. Do it for the drumstick. You know, listen, I know they're out there racing, but you can't tell me, Jeff, you can speak to this.
Absolutely.
If you rode by and some lady's shaking chicken drummies at you, you got to be thinking to yourself, what the hell is going on right now? Did I just hallucinate? What is going on?
That would probably shock me more than being flashed. You know? Drumsticks? What's she doing chicken out there?
Welcome
it's not
to
even snowshoe.
That's what I'm saying. We're pre-gaming for Howard's Hole right now. And just because of this, anybody watching, there's going to be buckets of chickens at Howard's Hole. I guarantee it.
Did you see the guys walking around with the signs over there today?
Oh, yeah. They got some TV love earlier. Here we go. Back to the battle.
Yep, and still Bryson, man, I tell you, he's right there, but Walker's doing a great job today of keeping him at bay. Like we said, in this, we go into this last lap. This is, gloves are off, boys.
Yep.
White flag is flying. Remember what we talked about? Walker played nice a little bit ago in those turns. Whenever mercy, he's keeping tight to the inside too. He doesn't want to open that door because he showed Bryson what he's willing to do. He knows that Bryson will probably be willing to do the same thing right back at him.
How irritating is this though? If you're Walker Fowler, that you're not shaking this guy. Bryson Neal just will not go away. He's like a gnat in the middle of July right now. I mean, it's just got to be driving him nuts. Like, yeah, just go away, man. Getting up into the berm a little bit, trying to kick up some dust, and just not phasing Bryson Neal.
Wow.
And you know both of these guys.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I thought he had him. Man, he came out of that turn. He took that line. That was a good take, but he couldn't get the drive out of that turn to make that pass. So, wow. Yeah, definitely. That little gnat in the ear. You know, I'm getting aggravated thinking about it.
It makes my eyes water just like hearing it.
But this gnat back there is more like a. He's growling like a big old bear back there. Yeah, definite roar. Man, you know, both these riders right now, their heart rates have got to be maxed out. Walker at full capacity trying to keep Bryson at Neal. Bryson trying to force a mistake, trying to find an opening that he could slide through out there.
Yeah, I think at this point Bryson is obviously pushing to make the pass, but he also is pushing, thinking if he could get Walker to bobble, you know, that would give him an opportunity to pass. And I guarantee you both of them from the previous 3 laps have a couple spots picked out.
Is that the battle for third we just saw coming through there? We're at the FMF PowerPoint now, the 1 mile marker. Again, the white flag is out on this one, 3 laps down. We were a bit of some 30 or so seconds back, if memory serves me correct. Last time we calculated, might have been a little further back than that, to the 3, 4, and 5 battle, and I believe it may be coming now as we catch back up with our leaders heading into the pro pits. Let's see if there's anyone going to make a stop. Walker Fowler down. Walker Fowler gets high-sided coming into the pro pits. Now Bryson Neal gets the gimme on that one. And wow, what just happened right there?
Well, what happened is I'm getting a hearing test on Monday, but that was just... Oh, look at the head shake by Walker. And you could just tell by the body language he just said to himself, there it went.
There it went.
There went the wind.
We just talked about forcing him into a bobble.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. We got a replay coming on this one, folks. And this is something that you don't see these caliber riders doing very often, but just gets that wheel caught right there. High sides and gets pitched off the machine. Bryson Neal, good presence of mind. Stop, make sure everything's all right, gets by, make sure he doesn't affect the other rider. It gets back on the gas, and you know, respectfully, doesn't go at it like he's fighting fire, like he's trying to really demoralize him. He respectfully throttles out of there and heads on. So Walker Fowler back into the battle. Going to say probably lost an 8-10 second deficit right there, and that's going to be huge through this final lap of racing. But what we got to point out, guys, how many times already today have we seen Walker make up an 8-second gap and be right on the rear grab bar within a split second, it seems like.
And if lappers are going to come into play, it's going to be on this last lap now because, I mean, one, this track's long. So, I mean, it takes you a little longer to get into lap traffic. But you would think on the last lap, if there was going to be any lappers impact anything, it's going to be now.
Well, Bryson Neal out front by himself as we watch on the Yamaha Live drone the Bidwell Bullet in a heated battle only minutes ago. And now in a zone that he's wondering, where is it going to, am I going to have to fight for this, or I'm going to take this home easy?
I think the question to ask Bryson Neal today, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx him, but are you trying to force Walker in? Is that the strategy now? Is that the strategy of, are you trying to force Walker into a mistake? Is that the strategy? Or is it, hey, I'm going to go out and race him mano a mano, or just be that irritating gnat that just pesters the guts out of him until it forces
Insert
him
sound
to a
effect
mistake?
here.
Yeah, there you go. Rodney's got that. Hey, see? Perfect. But it's working. I mean, it's definitely working. We've seen that a couple times, and haven't really seen him come off the bike like that on a mistake. But, you know, a little hiccup in a corner here or there. And
well, one thing to point out about these pits here, too, you know.
They are a little gnarly.
They are a little gnarly. That is a stone base. It looks like it's a regular grassy field that you're looking at, but this is an old strip mine property. Where the pits are located is the old storage yard where they used to store all the equipment and everything, and this basically has like a 3-foot gravel stone bed to it, and it's all stone, and obviously the grass has grown over top of it, so it's a little deceiving. So what happened, you don't get that power slide that you would get on traditional soil. He caught a rock and it just literally just flipped.
And Ronnie, it's not even regular gravel, it's actually riprap. It's actually riprap size gravel.
I guarantee you, once the adrenaline wears off, Walker Fowler's going to be like, hey, I'm bruised everywhere. That was
that wasn't like
probably worse than what it looked, I'm sure.
You know, there's something else that I think all the guys who won their first championship could say, that there was a year where everything just kind of came their way. I mean, just a break here, a break there. And, I mean, I kind of, based on a past couple races, we're kind of seeing some of those things go Bryson's way.
Right.
And kind of would lead you to believe that you know, he gives him a strong opportunity to maybe get a championship.
Which doesn't take anything away from him either.
Absolutely not.
You know, I mean, we look at all of Walker's championships, and you can kind of point to, well, this happened and this happened. Yeah, but he was still the guy.
Absolutely.
This year, Bryson, he's still the guy. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take it. All it does is just increases the playing field. I mean, it makes it more exciting. Now, for us, from a spectator standpoint, but from guys like Walker's standpoint, they don't like the spectators being so happy like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I say it all the time, you know, I'm of the mindset, I don't really care who wins. I try to stay as
just want everybody to have fun.
I just want everybody to have fun, and I want to see a good race.
Yeah.
I want whoever wins it to earn it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that man's put in the work this year. Now, that's a man that knows it's him versus the rest of this track and bringing home that checkers.
Definitely.
Would this be 4 in a row?
5.
5 in a row. The chicken drumsticks. By now, they have heard on social media.
Yes, that we're talking.
They have. You follow them on TikTok. Drumstick Girls of GNCC.
Wow, there's Fowler. That's a bigger gap than what I thought it was, guys. I don't think we're going to see Walker bridge that gap.
And these two guys, 10 seconds is eternity.
It is.
I mean, the pace that they can run individually, trying to run down a 10-second gap on the last lap. I mean, that's a tall order.
And like you pointed out, we don't know when Walker went down.
Sure.
You know, he could have stubbed something up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, that
he could be hurting right now.
Yeah, I mean, because like we said, there's some rocks in there. It's not a soft ground. I mean, he could have taken a Charlie horse to the shoulder. There's a number of things that could have happened right there that could be. They say, okay, I can't push this hard. No sense. You know, and he's probably like, okay, live to fight another day and come back, you know, because again, you know, we are in that point. Anything can still happen. There's still 6 rounds of racing. Walker is the victim of that as much as anybody, and he recognizes and knows it now.
Looks like Hunter Hart has Hunter dropped to 4th?
Yeah.
Devin Feehan.
Yep, Devin Feehan up in the 3 spot.
Yep.
Something we haven't probably talked enough about. I mean, Devin Feehan, welcome back to the top 3.
Yeah.
Good ride by him today.
Yeah, you know, that was a solid performance. You got to say, I mean, he a 6th, 7th place position, I think, there on the first couple of laps, and you know, he held just a steady pace. Didn't really light the world on fire, so to speak, but everything that he did got him into the right position, at least for a podium position. at the end of this race as we go past the 4-mile marker now in Method Alley.
Some of the lappers you were talking about,
Ryan
Jeff.
Simmons letting Bryson Neal by there. Out of the, I think he's Vet B. I think he's Vet B class.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Here comes Walker.
Yep.
Yeah, Walker did seem to be a little bit closer this time. I don't know if that's just an illusion, but nonetheless, Walker still on a pretty good pace out there right now. And this is the one where we wait some 30 seconds. This is we should be seeing Devin Feehan, followed by Hunter Hart, followed by Cole Richardson. And then another 30 seconds back to whom I believe is still Adam McGill and was at the end of lap 3. He was actually 50 seconds back. And Brandon Owen still leading the XC2, 11.7 seconds back now. Wyatt Wilkin is second and 8th overall, 9th overall, and 3rd in the XC2 now. Up from 4th is Jay Shadron. Steve Harold drops off to the number 10 spot in 4th place in the XC2. Devin Feehan holding on to the number 3 spot as he checks in here at the 4-mile marker, and it is still back there Hunter Hart, followed closely by Cole Richardson. Who's going to get 3rd? Will Bryson Neal hang on to the number 1 spot? We have about a half a lap to go. GNCC Live continues here from the Parks Unlimited Mason-Dixon GNCC.
Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
USMCA has been connecting riders to certified coaches since 2016. There are over 300 active certified coaches on motorcyclecoaching.org, and we recently launched our new mobile app, making it easy to connect with a coach and book your next training session. So here's what you do. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app, then search for coaches and upcoming classes. Once a training session is booked, riders have the option to pay for their class and even get a calendar reminder that will automatically sync to their phone. Get connected today.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service, we know racing. Our inventory of Yamaha motorcycles, sport bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides is extensive and constantly changing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
OnTrackSchool.com. Check it out.
Brown's RV Superstore is family owned and operated and stake their reputation on offering you the finest RVs available in their McBee, South Carolina RV dealership. Brown's RV Superstore carries motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers, and keep a huge inventory of new and used RVs in stock for you to choose from. They offer top dollar for your RV trade-in and help you get the RV financing you need. As a part of the GNCC family, Brown's RV Superstore, in partnership with Vengeance Toy Haulers, offers sponsorship packages for every level of racer with discounts and continued savings on your new toy hauler. Brown's RV Superstore has dedicated themselves to complete customer satisfaction, specializing in providing a positive start to your RV adventure. They look forward to customers coming back to share their tales from the road. Call Brown's RV Superstore today at 877-805-3658 or visit their website at brownsrvsuperstore.com, where family fun begins.
And welcome back to GNCC Live as we take a look back to 2021 here at the Mason-Dixon GNCC. And another barn burner, no doubt about that one, as we got it rolling in this one. Walker Fowler and, of course, the number 7 of Hunter Hart. Almost a deja vu from a year ago, only slap a couple different numbers on those machines as Hart had gotten out to the early lead, and here we go. This almost, like I said, looks like what we saw earlier today on lap number 1, where Hart was right behind, and minus Bryson Neal, obviously, at this particular juncture. Because if memory serves me correct, remember, this is the first race back after we were with no Bryson Neal. So, obviously, things turned out a little different yet last year than they did, or will this year. But, again, Hunter Hart leading this one for a little while as Walker Fowler found himself a little bit behind the pace, but still well within contention of what was going on here. He wasn't going to let that number 7 machine of Hunter Hart get too far away, and he did it. He was able to get back around him. It kind of looks like what we've seen here today, kind of between these two guys. But in the end, Walker Fowler was able to come away with the checkers and the win back in 2021. And today it almost appears as that's not going to be the case, as we saw that high side there. We did watch that replay. It looks like that a good tuck and roll by Walker Fowler, so there shouldn't be any physical conditions ailing him from that. But, man, I mean, if you're going to crash like that, that was a perfect way to do it. I mean, he handled that very well. The roll, got back up, got back on the machine, lost that 10-15 seconds, but ultimately is still somewhat in the race. Especially when you see what we just saw right there as we wait on the leaders at the 8-mile marker. We are getting closer to the end of this race, so a sense of urgency will likely start to hit Walker Fowler. So I'm expecting his pace will probably pick up. And if these riders get in a bunch of lap traffic like what we just saw go through here at the 8-mile marker, that could be a big opportunity for change looming.
So how about the ride that Brandon Owens is putting in today?
Yeah.
Number 7 overall from the XC2 class. Not only that, but also staying ahead of Jay Shad, who has pretty much dominated that class so far this year.
Well, I tell you, Shadron had dropped back to 4th. He's all the way back up to the 2nd place position. Now look at this.
Wyatt Wilkins in front of him.
Yeah, I just saw that. Sorry about that. It's 11 seconds. I'm sorry, 11 seconds between 1st and 2nd. But Shadron, what I'm trying to say is inching his way back up. He was 0.2 of a second behind Wilkin. That could be a good battle. If he gets around Wilkin and tries to track down Brandon Owen, wow, Shadron and Owen could have probably one of those side-by-side battles right at the checkers for that XC2 class.
It's due.
It is.
I mean, Jay Shadron's undefeated this season out of that XC2 class, so one of those guys at some point's got to step up, and it looks like Brandon Owens says, hey, let's go, Brandon. I'm going to get it done. That's what he did right there.
Well, there's our
there you go. Hey, we're watching you, kid. Don't keep that monster can.
Get your big old drink. Stand it back up against the tree.
He's like, oh, I got you. It's okay. Everything's all right.
No drumstick, though.
No drumstick.
Yeah, I know. It's gone. What a day.
Well, we got some kind of quick pace lap traffic that was coming through there. Those guys seem to be a little bit on it right there. That wasn't our leaders, I don't think, but Yeah, so I'm beginning to wonder, was that Bryson we just saw go through? He seemed to go through at a pretty good clip. I think if we see Walker, there's Walker. So yeah, that was Bryson that went through. So he was right there in the tail of that lap traffic. Don't know how tight the woods are between here and the finish line. I know there's some open spots there as well, so he should be able to get through. So it has been confirmed. Our Adam went back just to make sure that was Bryson Neal that went through there, just ahead, several seconds ahead of Walker Fowler. Now we wait on third place. This is the battle between Devin Hunter and Cole.
Yeah, will we see Hunter Hart come through in third still?
Yeah, that's going to be a big question. Or will Coltrane slide one?
I was going to say, because he was right. Coltrane was on the rear grab bar of Hunter Hart last time we saw him.
If memory serves me correct, this property has yielded some really good finishes for Cole Richardson.
Yeah, he has
several wins, actually.
Yeah, he's run real well here.
So even though he might not be in the hunt for the win, he might be able to pull out a hat trick here today and grab a third place position. And was that him that went by there? That was a orange helmet tag. I don't think that was them. So
seven, yeah, it was the real seven. Seven was the play. There's Hunter.
There's Hunter
and Coltrane.
Yeah. So that was that was him. So Feehan has established a little bit of dominance there in that number 3 spot. A big gap back there. And Feehan really doing what he needs to do for a lot of different, for himself, for points, for confidence. You know, I mean, there's a lot that I'm sure rides on today for several of these riders. And, you know, regardless of what happens, whether Hunter finishes third, whether he finishes fourth, or whether he finishes fifth, he's got to take a lot of positive points away, especially from that first hour and 10 minutes.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, again, Hunter, Hunter knows that he's got the speed. I think it's just a matter of whether he can sustain that pace for, more than the first hour, which that's kind of the case for, several of the guys that have the pace for the first half of the race, and then it comes down to, can they maintain that pace for the second half? So I think the next steps for Hunter are to put that first hour and 10-minute pace to work beyond the hour and 10-minute mark.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's something that we don't talk a lot about in the four-wheel side of things, but it is. And as these riders become better, I guess, prepared, I guess you could say, physically and nutritionally, and as the science gets better, it really starts to be evident. And right there was evidence of exactly that. Because these guys, like the two-wheel guys, are on very intense programs.
Oh, yeah. All these top 10, 12, 15 guys, this is not just a weekend warrior type of activity for them. I mean, their nutrition, their exercise programs, their practice schedules, I mean, pretty much everything they do revolves around, preparing to race.
Well, I'll tell you, prepared was Bryson Neal today, no doubt, mentally, physically, and all the things above, and waiting on Walker Fowler still, as we've seen Bryson check in here. There comes Walker Fowler now in the number 2 spot, and he doesn't seem to be on the charge. I think he's conceded to the fact that that little tip over in the pro pits may have been the deciding factor of what this race is. Right now, it's minimizing the damage as much as possible. A 36-point deficit at the end of this day, finishing first and second, will now put that at 41 points. Now, I'm going to put this in historical perspective as well, and I made mention of it a couple of times today, not sure if I have on the show, but when we look at this points deficit, Jeff, the thing about it is we got to think and come into the realization of is the fact that we have never seen a returning, and I don't even know that we've seen this big a points lead in the ATV side of things, but we have never seen a returning champion with as big a points deficit as what we seen just 2 weeks ago with 36 points in Walker Fowler. Now, if it finishes the way it does now, that grows now to a 41-point lead. So history becomes even larger at this particular point in that respect. And I even talked with Barry Hawk about that. Barry said, I always had the point lead. I never lost a point lead throughout the entire season once he won his championship. Sure. Now, winning the championship the first time, it was a little different scenario. But after he won the championship, he never relinquished a points lead after that.
So at some point, Bryson Neal goes from the Hunter to the hunted. I mean, at some point it becomes, like you said, the realization is he's got a very strong opportunity to, if he can continue this season very consistently, to be your 2022 champion. And that transition from now hunting the championship to now they're hunting you,
right,
is something that it will be another step for him.
It will, and you know, it almost might be a good situation and scenario for him when it comes, if he does win the championship, to maintaining that number one plate. You know how they always talk, the weight of the championship is always so heavy, that number one plate, your first year defending, it's the hardest title to defend. Well, he's almost in a position right now where he's already defending that championship, and it's going to be a half season under his belt by the time he gets there, if he's able to still hang on to the points lead, which is looking pretty promising at this point. But again, you can't catch chickens before they hatch.
No, absolutely not. Just like last race, where unexpectedly we saw Walker Fowler go off the track, end up breaking a chain trying to get back on the track, went from being in points contention to, you know, not even being in the top 20. Big swing right there.
Big John Knox makes his way, and he's like, all right, I want to see it. I want to see the replay of Walker Fowler. Well, go step right in there. They'll show it to you right inside there. Yeah, that's something we don't get to see often. I mean, that's how big a deal that little tip over right there for Walker Fowler was. Now, we hear about them, and like we talked about, but you don't see in the pro pits Walker Fowler in a power slide, high siding, high ending, and going over the high side of the bike like that. And again, we explained the scenario and what caused that, and I wouldn't even say that's right or error. That was just race course conditions. Honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit that gravel, and honestly, it's hard not to keep your bike from breaking free.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, that's not Bryson just ahead of him. That's Walker in the number 2 spot back there. He's going around a lap rider right there. I know Jeff was like, is that?
Yeah,
at least I don't think that was Bryson slowing down there.
No way.
If it is, he's got something bad going on there, or either that or he's really feeling good. All right, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pass you one more time. Now, I don't think that Bryson's going to do that. That would be a little over the top.
That would be, yeah.
Talk about flexing, though. Would that not be a flex?
Yeah, we're going to give you this one, then we'll play this out a little later.
So Bryson Neal still on track and on point. Walker Fowler still back there in the number 2 spot. Those 2 positions, guys, I really think that Walker has settled into that pace.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's thinking, try to track him down, try to take a win at this point. He's looking at big picture right now. Just maintain where I'm at. Take these second place points. Yep. We'll try and hope for better things to come in the future. Again, you look at it from a perspective that Bryson's out to win every race and at least finish on the podium every race. And you think that if all things go the way that they're supposed to go, that's exactly what's going to happen. But the reality of it is a lot of unknown variables out there, a lot of racing still to go, a lot of miles to turn on these racetracks, so a lot of things can still happen out there. And that's one thing that Walker has got to bank on. I mean, it's the only hope that he has at this particular point, because even winning outright from this point on, if Bryson was to finish second and he was to take first from here on out through the next 6 rounds, or 5 rounds after this, I guess it would be 5 times, that'd still only be 25 points, and that would not bridge the gap. So what he's got to hope for is he gets those wins, and that Bryson finishes a little further back than the second, the thirds, maybe in the 4ths and the 5ths and things of that nature, or maybe get that big gimme where he doesn't score points a race as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a Bryson Neal mechanical in terms of some type of, breaking a chain or dropping a motor, dropping something fluke, that he's not going to get any points to, put this back into where it will be a points contention between the 2 of them. I mean, I think mentally for the Bryson Neal team, it's at this point it's more about how do we make sure that we just stay consistent. And that's a different mental perspective too.
Absolutely.
Trying not to make sure that nothing goes wrong and those type of things. And then you turn Walker almost into a gunslinger, because he's got nothing. I mean, at some point he's got nothing else he can really lose.
Exactly.
So he's just going to go for it.
Exactly. I like that analogy, gunslinger. And that does sound like a good one. A Wild West shootout through the final 5 rounds. I mean, it's going to be a showdown at the OK Corral kind of scenario. the way this is shaping up. So I can't wait, man. I mean, it's still a lot to go here in this season, and we are less than 3 minutes, approaching that 2-minute time frame now to where we should be in the neighborhood of that finish line. Checkers waving, and what looks like a 5th consecutive win for Bryson Neal, and a little more points pad heading into the likelihood and possibility of the 2022 GNCC National Championship.
I mean, based on how this year started, Rodney, I don't think any of us would have predicted. We've been saying anybody would have had 5 wins in a row.
No.
Just based on how competitive the first few rounds were.
Right, and I wouldn't even put Walker Fowler in that category. And not taking anything away from Walker, we're just talking about the level of competition, the talent pool that is deepening, it seems like, year by year by year here. Is that our leader going through there?
Bryson coming through.
Yeah, Bryson coming
11-mile marker.
So we are getting nigh the finish line now. So in the neighborhood of around a minute, minute and a half. We'll just say under 2 at this particular point. So if you're headed toward the finish line, you don't have much time. Better pick up the pace. You're going to miss the end of the race and the celebrations that are about to unfurl here for Bryson Neal as he does what would have many people said, and I would have agreed with, nearly impossible task of 5 wins in a row here in 2022. There is Walker Fowler still continuing. It seems like dropping back again, just in that salvage. And I think we'll see, I think Walker is good. I think both Bryson and Walker both have to have a different mindset. And coming into this one right now, final turns right now, getting the roll-offs one final time as he hits those final chicanes. Bryson Neal, the Bidwell Bullet, takes the checkers and the win here at the Parts Unlimited Mason-Dixon GNCC 5 in a row.
That's absolutely crazy. 5 in a row with when you're lining up against the guys he's lining up against. That's impressive.
Definitely impressive, and impressive may be a word that isn't even big enough to explain what it really is, Jeff. I'll tell you. And coming off the racetrack, you know that Bryson has got to be extremely stoked about another win. But again, I think that Bryson may be left scratching his head, because you remember what I remember, the look back that he gave Walker whenever he went over. And there's Walker Fowler. And that's a good sign. Walker wheelies across the finish line, which means that he is in good spirits. And that's a good sign. And that still means that he's still alive for the fight. Here in the those are not
chicken legs.
I thought they're mariachis.
So Mikey Wayne should get a look at those while he's down there doing the post-race interview.
Yeah, you can check those out, Mikey. Shake them.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like chicken legs out there. So anyway, wow, well, we've answered a few questions.
We did.
Here. I liked it better when it was chicken legs, honestly. Walker Fowler, big smile on his face. He has to shake this one off. I mean, he really has to come into this part of the championship with a different mindset, and so much weight lifted off his shoulder, even though, the weight kind of does, but he's like, it's just time to have fun at this point. And that's what he's doing. He knows that wasn't his fault, what happened there in the pits. He knows that, that's just terrain and conditions, and things happen the way they do. And this is what happens right back here for the number 3 spot as well. He's a little further back, but taking the checkers and bringing home the number 3 ride here at the end of lap number 4 at the Parts Unlimited Mason-Dixon GNCC. Devin Feehan, 1 minute and nearly 9 seconds behind Fowler there for the number 3 position. So pretty impressive. 37 seconds, by the way, between first and second. So not an earth-shattering gap between first and second, but definitely one that Bryson Neal is very comfortable with and very satisfied with for 5 in a row. He's with Mikey Wayne standing by down at the specialized victory lane, and of course fist bumps all around. So waiting on Mikey now. All right, Mikey, whenever you're ready, buddy.
All right. A little trouble with my audio, but I'm got the cue. Sounds like
Stalled my bike in the pits. My goggles off, and my dad was fueling me, and that was just enough to lose the lead. And that I was like, man, that could have been the pass for the race, you know, for the win. I knew it was tough to pass. Get you in the field. Really good fun. Everyone was riding good today, but we came around that last lap of the pit section, and I never expected him to take a tumble and go down pro row like that. I'm glad he's okay. You know, I heard Jared McClure, he crashed out and he broke his collarbone. I'm absolutely gutted for him. I mean, he's a hard-working dude. He puts it all in the sport, and he loves racing. So I hate to hear that he broke his collarbone. He won't be with us in snowshoe. Hopefully he'll be back with us the last 4 rounds. But man, 5 in a row, just super pumped. Today was awesome. The fans were awesome. The Moroccos were awesome. I loved everything, the track, the bike, the suspension, the CST tires, Zoka shocks, everything was clicking. I felt great, and we're ready for snowshoe, I guess, now.
Ready for snowshoe. Can you make it 6 in a row?
I tell you what, I don't know. I'm going to keep trying. You know, a lot of people was asking me, you know, what's going to be the game plan today, and I was like, I just ain't going to change nothing. I'm going to keep the status quo, keep trying to push forward, ride smooth, click off fast laps. You know, if we're in the battle for snowshoes crazy. Anyone can win there, but if we're on the lap, we'll see what we can do to bring home 6. But for right now, you know, to get 5 in a row, that's a big accomplishment for myself. And I'm just super happy for my team, my family, everyone around me to get 5. And hopefully just keep this bike finished and keep rolling.
Shake your maracas, shake chicken wings. There's your winner, Bryson Neal.
Shake the maracas. I like it. I like it. It's something new, something cool here in GNCC Racing, bringing a little extra flavor and pizzazz, if you will. Man, I tell you what, that ride of Bryson Neal, certainly Magnum One Motorsports, those guys have got to be pretty pumped. They got good things going on the two-wheel side of things. They got great things going on here on the four-wheeler side of things. And Mikey Waynes has great things going on, too, as he talks with Walker Fowler.
Out here today, Walker, man, obviously race going with Bryson Neal. You had the tumble there on Pro Row. Tell us about it.
It's funny that GNCC courses are some of the roughest, obviously in the States and you know, possibly the world. And the easiest place on the track with gravel, I put her upside down pretty hard. For being right out of the corner, these GBC tires, man, we hooked up, and unfortunately I hooked up looking at Bryson Neal's pits, and man, I one-wheeled it, and all of a sudden I'm flying through the air like Ricky Bobby. I'm like, this can't, what's going on? Up and just tried to pick up. Just wanted to get it to the finish.
There you go, guys. Second place finish.
Well, Walker Fowler, I know we were a little hit and miss on the audio. Sorry about that, but I'll tell you, folks, wow. A couple of things to point out there. You know, we've seen Walker Fowler win and not be in as good a mood before. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Walker Fowler has been a lot more intense and a lot more. But this Walker Fowler, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it was great to see him in good spirits there because, I mean, you know, obviously unfortunate he took a tumble there in Pro Row the way he did. You know, just because we'd all like to see how the race played out. Right. You know, with them going bumper to bumper. But, again, hats off to Walker for taking this in good stride. And,
absolutely.
You know, I think that's a credit to him and kind of where he is also with how the season has unfolded.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I know a lot of people, they don't understand Walker's mindset and how intense of a rider he is. In all honesty, a lot of that has to do with the pressure that he puts on himself, that I'm sure that he feels that is being put upon him by sponsors and things of that nature. And now that pressure has kind of been lifted, it's time for Walker to have a little bit of fun. And we might see a whole different Walker, too, over the course of the next 5 rounds of racing. Let's head back down to the finish line where Mikey Waynes is with Devin Feehan now.
Down here, Devin Feehan.
3 out there today. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, definitely pumped to get another podium, and man, it's been a hard couple 4 weeks, man. Just had a frame bend on me after the Indiana race. I had an engine go on me last race, so yeah, just really cool to get back up here, and yeah, just got to thank all the guys that help with that stuff. You know, Jason with Action Off-Road, and Josh Merritt helped me out with the frame stuff. So just yeah, everybody helped me out get here. Yeah, just got a decent start, and just kind of had to be smart. A couple guys were making some mistakes, and just kind of slowly charged to the front and tried to ride right behind everybody I was behind, and put a charge on to make some passes and just ride smart to the finish.
Well, big congratulations to you, man. Another podium finish. What's in store for Snowshoe with Devin Feehan?
Yeah, just keep it rolling. You know, it's definitely been working hard at it. Pretty much had to take the last local weekend off just to kind of regroup. I was kind of getting, you know, just working hard at it, and yeah, no, this is cool.
Devin, congratulations to you. Your 3rd place finisher, Devin Feehan.
Well, Devin Feehan, congratulations to you, my friend. An outstanding ride, and way to keep your head down and pushing all day long, because it paid huge dividends, no doubt about it. What an eventful day. More lead changes than I've seen in a long time, Jeff Harvey. Yep. But when it all panned out, Bryson Neal taking the win, Walker Fowler second. Feehan, who comes back from like a 7th or 8th place position on lap number 1 all the way up to 3rd. Cole Richardson also struggling in the early part of the race up to a 4th. Hunter Hart, who was leading at one point in that battle for the overall up until just past the 1 hour mark, finishes up in the number 5 spot. Adam McGill in 6th, steadily all day long.
Never moved.
All day long, 6th place. Brandon Owens, what a ride for him. Wyatt Wilkins, Jace Chadron in the number 3 spot. Josh Merritt from the XC1 Pro class rounds out the top 10. That would put him 7th in class, but that Owens-Wilkins battle.
3 XC2 guys in the top 10 today.
Yeah, and they were tight. And the big news there is Jace Chadron gets dethroned here today at the Mason-Dixon GNCC. Well, that's going to wrap things up. And, of course, I want to say thanks to all of our Racer TV crew. Tip of the hat. Great job today, guys. Thanks to Mikey Waynes. And, of course, this guy right here, Mr. Jeff Harvey. For all of us here, I'm Rodney Tomlin, inviting you back again tomorrow for more great racing action from the Mason-Dixon GNCC. Good day, everybody.